the word of prayer. So let's believe and pray. I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear, Ratemo.
Yes, we can.
Loud
Okay,
and clear.
thank you.
Yes,
Let's believe
yes,
and
we
pray.
can.
Let's
We
believe and
can.
pray. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Good Lord, we thank you this evening for the gift of life, for the gift of one another, Lord. We are gathered here for a meeting of WAUMINI investors with WAUMINI aspirants who want to be elected to the board. God, we are asking you to guide us, give us wisdom as we deliberate in this meeting, so that all the aspirants can have mutual time to be able to present their presentation to the delegates who will be voting for them on Saturday. Father, as we start, let's start with you. And as we finish you, we glorify your name, Lord. Because you're Lord, we know you'll take us through all this. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Back to you, Kipchillis.
Okay, thank you, Ratemo, of you praying and starting us with a word of prayer. So we would have the way the people, you remember we were requesting people to send their manifestos, and we would have, like, for example, we can have like 4 or 5 presenters, and then we ask questions. Or alternatively, we can have all the presenters do the presentation 10 minutes each, and then now we allocate time for us, and you'll be directing a certain question, the question to a certain, maybe you are saying a certain aspirant, I want to ask you this. So you will be answering the questions as you are directed by the participants. So our main moderator today will be Felix, so that I will be doing the background, maybe technical work on this other side. So Ratemo, you can start us off. So the first presenter will be Rose. Rose, if you are ready, come on the screen.
Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be given this opportunity here. And I'm happy that you are ready to listen to my presentation as we try to see how to make WAUMINI SACCO better. So my name is Rose Aoko Achiego. I hold Bachelor of Arts in Communication with a major in mass communication and a minor in public relations. I have worked for about 20 years now in media industry, and currently I'm the editor of the Catholic Mirror magazine at the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops under the Commission for Social Communications. I'm a former programs manager and a mentor at Good News Radio in Rumbek, South Sudan, and a former producer, presenter, and a reporter at Radio WAUMINI. And with that, I'll go to my agenda. First, I would like to see increased saving and deposit. With this, I'm saying we need to recruit more members to be able to join our team, to be able to join WAUMINI SACCO, because I realized that we have institutions under the Catholic Church. Some we have incorporated, but we are yet to reach to some. Because I can see we have like about 8,000 or more Catholic schools, and we have even 400 or more hospital and medical facilities run by the church, and other institutions, other organizations, even in the dioceses and in our parishes. And we have our Christians, we have our family members whom we can also encourage to join. And with this, to realize increased saving and deposit, we also need to do education to empower members with financial knowledge. What do they need to know? What's the benefit of saving? Why do they have to even borrow loans? Do they have to borrow loans to spend it anyhow and later on feel frustrated and feel like it was a bad thing? Or do we need to encourage them and educate them on how they can be able to manage their resources and grow themselves? Because I've seen people who have grown from, let's say, somebody borrowed even 10,000 shillings, they were able to invest it well, and they kept on climbing the ladder slowly by slowly. And then we also have to reawaken dormant members. In our presentation earlier, we saw that there are members who are with us, but they're dormant, they're not active. We need to reach out to these members and find out, why are they dormant? What's the problem? Can we carry out a research? Can we do a background check and find out why these people are not with us, or why they are with us, but they are not depositing? So that maybe we can find a way of unlocking this and also having them to do the same. With the, can we be able to win back the trust of former members? We have members who've been saving with us, but after some time, they decided to sit back. Why are they sitting back? Why are they not motivated to save anymore? And then motivation of staff, because our staff are the people who interact with people on a daily basis. They're our customer care. They are the people who are taking care of their needs. When they need loans, they reach out to them. When they want to query about deposits or anything, they reach out to them before they come to us, even though some might be having a direct contact and contacting the directors on the board, but we have members who interact on a daily basis with our staff. So the staff need to be motivated so that they give a good representation of WAUMINI SACCO to our customers. And then we also have investors. How can we also motivate investors? How can we even surprise them once or twice in a year? Maybe doing something which is not regular. Let's say maybe there is a Christmas bonanza. How can we afford to give them, even if it's 300 shillings, 500 shillings, or whichever figure? Because I believe in as much as we try to do business, we can also entice, because even other people who are doing business, there is a way that there is a time that they just want to motivate people to see their products and to buy their products. And also, loan recovery and defaulters. This is something that has really caused pain amongst our people, pain and agony amongst our people, because a guarantor should not be tormented for supporting one to grow. When somebody borrows a loan, maybe let's say it's an emergency loan, there is a reason as to why they are taking the emergency loan. And then they need somebody to guarantee them for them to be able maybe to pay school fees, to pay hospital bills. If they are growing, they are developing, maybe they want to purchase a plot, they want to build, they want to do business, they will request the same people. So if I come to you and request that I need you to guarantee me, then I expect you to be able to repay your loan. But in the event that you're not able to pay the loan, then we are requesting that the WAUMINI SACCO can be able to come up with means and ways of ensuring that these loans are recovered from the defaulters. So we are talking conciliation, reproachment. We are talking about notifying the customer of penalties and loan terms. We are talking about outline all the options for payment so that this person is able to pay back the loans. And then we have tech-based borrower monitoring. Can we be able to monitor how the borrower is repaying back the loan? And in the event that we are seeing them slowing down, can we come in quickly before they default and talk to them on how they can be able to repay the loan? And also we're talking about real-time monitoring. Of course, that is it's a time with the previous point. And then there are also legal options. Of course, we advise them to seek legal options. But as WAUMINI SACCO, can we have somebody whom we can always maybe refer them to? Can we assist them in this process and guarantors contribution as the last resort? Let us deduct guarantors contribution as the last resort. We should not run to deduct guarantors contribution before we pursue the above options and see how these people can be able to repay back their loans. Because in some instances, the guarantors know where these people have gone to. Maybe they've left job, they were colleagues before, they're employed somewhere else, and they're earning money, but they can't remit that money. Why can't we see on how to help these people to talk with their new employer and actually reinforce the fact that they need to repay back their loans? I'm also looking at utilization of digital space. Robust marketing online. Online space is something that we cannot run away from. Everybody else is now online. We have like 11 million people who are online on Facebook and others on other social media platforms. And our people are also here. Why can't we tap on that and also make sure that we engage them online mostly, and also have a website that is interactive, but that is also frequently updated with information that is enriching our people. And have also those on Facebook. We have Facebook, yes, but how can we be able to make it even better? How can we be able to produce simple messages that we can pass on WhatsApp and on blogs? And what can we allow people to tell their stories of success? Digitize services that guarantee efficiency, convenience, and secure service delivery for members. Because if I can just be able to pick my phone and be able to apply for a loan, and then it's guaranteed. I'm not saying that for every loan we do it over the phone, because there are loans that can be huge that we cannot guarantee over the phone. But if a member is requesting for a loan, for example, let's say 30,000, 20,000, and they can do this and apply and upload their requirements online, and then we get the WAUMINI SACCO to be able to approve this, and then they get it without having to step out of their offices, without having to board a matatu to go to, let's say, a WAUMINI office in those areas, regions where we are existing. And then I'm also talking about showcasing some of the SACCO projects, success stories from members. We have people who have done well. We have people who have grown. We have people who can stand out there and say, I borrowed this money, I invested it like this, and these are the returns, and I am happy. So that we can also be able to encourage other people to uptake the products that we have. When I see growth, let's say, for example, I was given money and I started rearing chicken, and the production has gone high, let's say from 100 chicks to 200 to 300, and I'm now the new supplier of eggs in town, and everybody is eating healthy. I'm happy. And somebody else can also learn from that and also be able to do the same. So we can tell success stories because we learn from one another. And then I'm also talking about value addition. How do we package our products? How can we entice? There is a way that you package the product that it looks nice and good to the customer. And how can we come up with new products with high uptake? I've been giving this example of Hustler Fund. It just came recently, in as much as maybe there are people who are not taking it up, there are people who are taking up that product. Why? Because maybe it's low, it's for the common mwananchi, and they feel that there's something that is helping them. But we can do something even much better, that loans are available. Those small loans, they might appear small, but I believe that if they are taken up several times and by many people, and we attract a big group of people to be able to take, then the returns can be enormous. You cannot believe it. And then we have another product. If we cannot be able to give, let's say, like a gift during Christmas,
Rose,
yes.
your time is up.
All right, I'm just completing. I'm finishing.
Somebody, please. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm finishing. I'm saying, and then after that, I'm saying competitive interest rate. Let us we can relook at that, though I know our interests are okay. Understand members' need and improve customer care. So I'm saying we can be able to attain the 14% if we really work hard. And your servant leader is a team player, a good listener, and a motivator. I'm flexible to changes that create positive results and grow wealth. And I pray that God may grant me wisdom and strength to lead with discipline, confidence, and dignity. Thank you very much. Vote Rose Achego, vote prosperity.
Thank you very much, Rose, for that wonderful presentation. Thank you very much, and also for trying to maintain time, even though you went by 1 minute. Thank you for that.
I'm sorry for that.
Next is Kyoko. Kyoko?
Yes, please.
Take your state, please.
So, good evening, fellow delegates and everyone present, including members who may have joined us. I'm so privileged to have this opportunity, and I would like to tackle today's presentation by first of all understanding the job. I'm looking at our presentation today in three main areas. One of them is actually understanding the job. Number two, the person. And number three, the goal, or rather the job. I mean, the goal that we are targeting. So when we talk about the job, I've been thinking about what is it exactly that we are asking to be elected to, and we are being elected to the board. What is the job of a board? Sometimes we may confuse and maybe confuse various aspects of what the job is, but I would say the board is actually the body that gives the organization the personality. An organization does not have its own personality without the board. The board is the policy-making body, is the body that gives direction, overall direction, gives the image, gives the identity. And therefore, I'm coming before you understanding that it is a job of high calling, a huge responsibility, and a calling for high accountability. I'd like to make my presentation in form of just a few. First of all, I'd like to give a bit of my bio. Who is Martin Kioko? CPA Martin Kioko. I am a Kenyan from Machakos County. I'm married to one wife and blessed with one son and one daughter. I'm a Christian of the Catholic faith, and I've been a WAUMINI SACCO member from 2010. And understanding the job is that as a board member, I need to give the best image to our organization, and I want to give our organization, which is WAUMINI SACCO, the best that it can be. And therefore, my contribution is making it the best of the SACCOs. A board is a corporate body. It's comprised of various members who bring in different skills and different giftings so that we can give the organization the best. So I would like to make a bit of my presentation from my short bio and my brief explanation of what I understand about the board. The next question is, why Martin? Why should I be the right person to be a member of the board? And I can describe myself in form of 3 C's because, as I've said, board members are people of high calling. One of them is my qualification. I am a finance professional by training and by experience. I am trained, I have a bachelor's degree, BCom, accounting. I am a CPAK and I'm also a CPSK and also MBA in finance. That gives me the competence that will be required. So when I get into the board, my greatest competencies will be in analyzing the financial reports, figures never lie, as we say, but we need to do a critical analysis and see where it is that we are getting our incomes, because at the end of the day, what is very important is to grow our incomes, to grow our revenues, and to reduce our expenditures, so that the bottom line, which is a surplus that so many members are looking forward to benefiting from in form of dividends and interest on deposits, can manage. Our buzzword has been 14%, and I believe that can only happen if we are having the best management of our financial resources, analysis of the same, and an ability to be able then to increase what we have. Now, the other thing that qualifies me apart from the training is my wide range of experience. I am currently a regional finance manager of an international organization that I'm working for, supporting East and Central Africa. We have about 5 countries within the East and Central Africa, and I'm a member of the boards of the various countries. So different countries have different challenges, and my experience in sitting in these boards gives me that competitive edge to be able to navigate. Besides my work experience over the years, I've been working even in South Sudan, in the NGO world, in Christian-based organization. I've also participated in boards of schools, church councils, and other organizations. And therefore, I have a general understanding of how boards operate. And that gives me a competitive edge as a person when we are looking at the person for this job. The other thing is commitment. Many a times it not be able to survive if you are not committed to doing your job. You must be available. You must call to duty by sacrificing even personal time and even resources to be able to do that. And the third one is character. WAUMINI SACCO is actually a Christian SACCO, and I believe majority of our members subscribe to Christianity. Personally, I confess and I practice the Christian faith through the Catholic Church, and I believe this should count in making me the right person for this job. Now, the third item, which I mentioned of great concern after the job and the person, is the goal. What is the goal? I think in a nutshell, all of us as members would just say, this is my investment, and I want the greatest value from my investment. When we talk about 14%, that's a summary of what all of us as members are wanting. And therefore, that can be the goal, the highest returns. In this case, as a board, we should be able to scan through the market, our market segment. What are other SACCOs giving to the members? Of course, sometimes you have to analyze what the source of that giving. So in this case, prudent financial management, such that even if we give high returns to our members, we don't give them from debt. And this is the reason I'm saying by analyzing the various financial statements, we are able to say, even if we are giving rewards to our members, at what costs? We should not borrow. And I want to appreciate the fact that every time we are approving a borrowing, a loan up to the tune of 50 million, and we shall be doing it even during our AGM, but it's not happening. Why? Because we are raising our own financial resources, which makes it not a very expensive affair. If we borrow to be able to run our business, then that may not be healthy for the SACCO, and many other parameters, financial parameters. So by going into the board, that is the greatest strength that I'm promising you, that I shall be able to analyze the financial reports and even provide financial guidelines that will enable our SACCO to be able to move forward. Now, when we get to the goal, what is our goal? Definitely our goal is to realize the best returns. And in this case, this is where I share my promises to members. I share my commitment in a brief. Let me just share my screen briefly. Sorry, this is not the item I want to share. So this is what I would share as my commitment to you. First of all, I'm asking for your vote as CPA Martin Kioko, and my commitments are as follows in summary. I'm talking about diversified member benefits. There are many benefits that members can get. I'll give the details. The second one is prudent financial controls and corporate governance. Number 3 is alternative investments. Number 4 is delegates empowerment, and then guarantor security. Under diversified member benefits, I'm talking about guaranteed double-digit dividend and interest payouts. We can guarantee at least a minimum of 10% and growing. And I'm so happy that we have that kind of a trajectory, that we are already at 9%. And I've seen indicators in the financial reports that will make it very possible that we can get to 10, 11, and eventually we are able to reach after applying the prudential financial management policies. Then the second item is having a wide spectrum of loan products to suit different levels of member savings and deposits. We need to be innovative. Our members have a spectrum. There are those very low savers, those who have started, or those who have been saving the minimum, and there are those mega savers. Can we come up with loan products that will suit those major spectrum? There's something we call economies of scale. Sometimes you may have, like now we only have 30% of our members are having loans. We do an investigation and get to know why are the majority of our members not getting the loans. Is it because it is because of the high interest rates? Could it be? Suppose we reduce an interest rate and have 80% of the members who have never been getting the loans. You make a shilling from 1 million people, you make 1 million. You make 10 shillings from 10 people, you only make 100. So we consider certain policies like economies of scale and develop products that can suit the members. At the end of the day, the member benefits. Then there is regular and diversified communication flows for member information. As a delegate, I've realized many a times members don't even know what is expected of them. They don't have information. So how can we diversify communication flows? And I want to appreciate the current board recently that members are getting SMSs regularly. That is one way of communication, but we still have members who may not be very well versed with the technological advancements. So we need to reach them. The other one is continuous member education on products, services, rights, and privileges. Some of the members at the point of, for example, signing as guarantors, they don't know their obligations and they don't know what they are supposed to ask of the members. If a member is signing for a loan for purchase of land, probably they need to ascertain whether that money has gone there and whether in the event of default, that land is available. This can come through this member education about the products, services, rights, privileges, and even what they need to know. And the last one is leveraging on technology for faster, more efficient, secure, and cost-effective services. So definitely technology is a tool that makes work easier, faster, and all those. And I'm so happy as I talk about having the different skills in the board, we have people already who are very good in communication. I can quote my sister Rose, because she's trained and she's very well in communication. We utilize such skills in coming up with that. Now, the second item or commitment is prudent financial controls and corporate governance. And as you can see here, financial controls, we talk about having cost estimates that are realistic, budgets, cost monitoring, financial evaluation. Of course, once everything is done, you do the evaluations to be able to know whether the figures make sense. And in this commitment, I'm talking about having diversified revenue streams. We don't rely on only one revenue stream. If members are not taking loans, we don't keep idle cash. We diversify it. We use different other avenues of generating income. Then we have strict adherence to legal, regulatory, and policy guidelines. And I think this is a direct responsibility of the board, that we can have a very good organization in form of a SACCO, but it can fall very quickly if we don't observe all these regulations, the legal, regulatory, and policy, and there are those many bodies. Then strict cost. Yes, please.
CPA Martin, we had set precedence of 10 minutes. You
okay.
have bypassed by 2, so please can you sum up? We had
all
set
right,
precedence of 10 minutes, please. Yes, please.
Give me 2 and I will be done. So
2 minutes.
Having strict cost controls, and definitely the details will be there, prudent debt management. And then number 3 is alternative investments, as I've mentioned up there. We need to look like having high yielding, low risk deposits, such as government papers, mutual funds, etc., fixed deposits, corporate stocks. And then delegates empowerment. This to me is very key, because from the discussions we are having, there's a lot of knowledge gap that I identify, and therefore we need to have diversified delegates education and interaction forums, such like even this one is a very good one, continuous delegates feedback mechanisms. When we ask so many questions during ADM or even in forums like this, we need to provide feedback. So I shall pursue having forums where we can give that feedback. And lastly, guarantor security. And this is more on education guarantorship principles. I had explained what you need to know before you become a guarantor. Having valuable collaterals so that guarantors are not exposed. Strong data collection strategies, good enough. We already have that department. It's a question of looking at it at the cost-benefit analysis of having that department, and then having valuable collaterals. And in conclusion, I want to say that leadership is the capacity to transform vision into reality. And that is what I'm looking forward, having the vision and transforming it into the reality, which is going to lead to the achievement of the goals that we as delegates are pursuing. Thank you very much. And God bless you.
Thank you, CPA Martin, for that wonderful presentation. We appreciate your time. Now, going forward, I think I have to be very much fair to each and every member, because we said 10 minutes. I am happy to add those 2 minutes. I've added also Martin, Kyoko. So, Mburu, as you come in, you have 12 minutes. I will maintain a constant time of 10 minutes each. Kyoko, Mburu, please, CPA Mburu. CPA Mburu is your time.
Thank you very much. I don't think I'll need more than that 10 minutes, but thank you for being generous. And don't know whether you can be able to see me.
No, not yet.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, I can see you.
Okay. In case I switch to having network connections, in case I switch to sound only without video, I think don't mind much. As I have been introduced, I'm CPA Joseph.
CPA Mburu, we see you.
Okay, I'm CPA Joseph Kimani Mburu. I'm a professionally trained as an accountant. and I hold a Bachelor of Commerce in Finance. I also a CPAK, as I've said, and I've been working in different fields. I started in auditing, then I went to accounting, and currently I've moved to management for the last 5 years. I would say I have experience of 15 years in the three fields I've mentioned, but much of it in accounting. I would like to ask myself the first question: why do I feel like I can be able to serve the board of WAUMINI? To start, to summarize a long story, I've been a member of WAUMINI since 2010. Personally, I can say I'm a successful case. I can give my case, and I would say WAUMINI have really served me. What have really pushed me is to see how well can I put other people, other low earning people, because I would say most of us who are in management levels, we don't have so much issues with WAUMINI. The real problems with WAUMINI are felt by the low earning cadre of staffs. They are the one who really feel the pinch of how the way WAUMINI SACCO is being managed. Why do I say that? Because I would say because of two things. In terms of returns, which everybody's talking, you want 14% and above. And the second issue, really touching on members, is the defaulters issue. I'll handle that maybe when I'm finishing. I'll ask myself, why do I feel like, what can we do differently to increase the benefits of the members in the SACCO? I would apply an approach which say, what's the current status? What are the current issues? I would come in with so much promises, but I would like first to understand what is the current issues we are facing as a SACCO. Do I feel I can bring any change in the SACCO? And the answer to that question is yes. And that's why I felt if I was to be in the board, I'll be able to serve and protect the low cadre of staff, not saying that I'll forget the management level, but I'll feel the pinch really felt by the people who are low earning people, are the one, because if you're earning more money, when you are deducted 50 or 70,000, you might not feel the pinch. And that's led me to my manifesto, which is a 5-point manifesto. One of them being availability. To simply explain that, I'll be committed to serving the board. The interest of the members or interest of our customers who happen to be also our members will be taken care of. The second one was better returns, which I'll handle as I finish. And the third one was about the loans. And about the loans, it's all about the product. How do you package? How do you increase the uptake? Because as you have seen, we are having, let's say 30-40% of members have taken loans. I would like to understand, why are we having such a scenario? Because even if you come in as a board member and your aim is to increase the members, yes, you can increase the members, but yet less than 50% of the members you're currently having are not taking loans. You need to sit down and understand what the issue, what the problem is we are facing here. Because even if you want to increase the membership, the current members you have, there's a problem with that. We need to handle that. That's something you have to sit down and discuss and see the way. Even if you want to go for more members, why are we not getting the value of money from the current members? Because when a member contribute, they don't take a loan. WAUMINI find itself with a lot of idle cash, as my fellow CP have said, which now, as a board, you have to go back and start to think, where do you invest this money? And what was the goal of the SACCO? All the SACCOs when they were coming up, the cooperatives, what was the goal? The goal was to give affordable credit to its members, because back then the interest rates were becoming exorbitant, and that's how the SACCO came in. So the prime goal of a SACCO is to offer affordable credit to its members. But when you have less than 50% of your members taking loan, are you really achieving that? And my answer to that, I would say it's a no. Because you are more than half of your members are not taking loan. So you have failed on the first goal. Then to go to the last 2 points I postponed to give last. One of them being the better returns. I ask myself, how can we better returns for the members? Even though our main goal is to offer affordable credit, members are craving, because you have to listen to the members. Members are craving for more returns. I don't think it's any rocket science here. For you to increase returns, you only have 2 options. You have to increase income. And when you increase that income also, you have to watch on the expenses, because there's no need of increasing our income by 1 million and then we increase our expenses by 800,000. You cannot come and tell members you have increased your income by 1 million, so you should give us even whatever you want to be offered. They have to go together. When you increase income, you also have to put check on cost. Because if you keep on moving both at the same ratio, you never achieve anything. So a look on how do we increase the income? Just to give examples, as it will be an issue when if the members agree to join the board, it will be a discussion. It's not a one-man thing. We're talking of 9 members board. So one of the issues I'll handle is I'll try to increase the uptake. Having more than 50% of members not taking loans, it means there's a lot of opportunity, lost income to the SACCO, because those people, that money is just lying. Even if you invest it somewhere, you may not be, the members are not giving. So there's an opportunity, there's a cost lost, there's an income lost. So one of the issues I'll handle is to make sure we look on what's happened. Is our products are not maybe packed well. That's why members are not able to. Maybe the majority of our members, they belong in which kind? Are they high earning or low earning or middle earning? Can you have products which are favoring all earners? The second will be, the second point I look on, for us to make money as board members, we are decision making, but we make decision after being given input from our secretariat. If the secretariat is not motivated, if the secretariat is not empowered to make even some of the decision, even though they have to bring the decision to the board to be approved, because of course we have the policies, there are decisions which have to be made by the board, but the secretary can make suggestions. If you don't empower, if your staff is not motivated, how do you think they'll handle even the members? You always get complaints. Like we had a few years ago, customer care was a problem in WAUMINI. And then we expect members to take loans. Members will shy off from getting the loans. So I would say staff motivation, empowering the secretariat to make decision. There's so many ways of motivating them. You can even have set or negotiated goals. You achieve these and you get, if it's a bonus or something, there's so many ways you can motivate them. The second part will be on efficiency. When we talk about efficiency, is on having a check on the cost. There are costs which are directly related to income you are getting. There's a school of thought which say if you expend more on marketing, you expect to have more income. That is not always right. It depends. What kind of marketing are you doing? You can be doing marketing, but you're not getting any income. We need to have such cost analysis. How much are we spending on a certain department? For example, how much money can be attributed directly or indirectly to that department? You do a cost analysis to that department. Another thing you have is you can talk of cost units. You can set cost units, and all these can be able to be done by involving and empowering the secretariat to be able even to have to check on costs. Because if they know we have to achieve, they also check on their cost. If they know they have to achieve a certain income, because even they'll wonder why are we making more money and then we're incurring more. So in such a way, the board will have even an easy time, because you'll be just having meetings on or reports to check on from secretary to check on how well are you doing. Even them, they would have judged themselves. How are we doing? Are we doing well? Are we doing bad? To be a very easy job for the board. The next thing I would do is benchmarking also. You can also benchmark with the best performing industries, best performing SACCO in the industry. Even though our goal is to make WAUMINI the best performing SACCO in the industry, I don't think we are there yet. We have SACCOs who are performing better than us. We need to go and check, not copy blindly, because there are so many parameters you need to check on when you're comparing SACCOs. But you can look on SACCOs which have the same muscle. They have the same financial muscle as WAUMINI. What are they doing? How are they doing better than us when you have the same? When you look at the ratios, they are all the same, but in terms of performance, they are performing better than us. Those are things you can go and check, have a discussion, and you agree we can adopt this. There are so many measures of cost reduction, so I won't spend so much time about. You can computerize or use the technology in all our processes to make them effective. But of course, you also have to do check on, because technology is expensive. No, it's not cheap. You also have to do a cost analysis whether it is worthy to use digital in almost all our processes. How much are you getting from this process? Maybe you cannot spend 10 million for a process which we can only attribute maybe in a year 300,000. It doesn't make any economic sense to do such an investment. So you have to do it's a reduction. A reduction of cost is all it's an all-round in all departments, in all units. You can also talk about WAUMINI have opened for the last few years. They have opened several offices in different regions. We need to check. Do we need maybe to scale down some of the offices? You check at how much is maybe benefit are we getting from this office, and how can we transfer even some of these functions they are performing, because you find that a certain function is maybe it's a very huge cost to that branch, and it's not bringing enough money. Instead of closing down because you have members there, you can also do a cost analysis to see whether you can transfer some functions or scale down, maybe in terms of staff or maybe the other operational costs. So I think for better returns, it's all about income. How much money can we make, and how well can we utilize a shilling to increase on savings so as members can get more. And to move on my last unit, which is I think is a zone issue. I'm talking from most members I've talked to, and also from my unit is not different. Here in my unit is in Matare, it's Baraka Medical Center. It's in Madare slums. The issue of defaulters. It's an issue we need the board to sit down and look on these things. And my promise on these defaulter issues, we need to have a recovery roadmap on defaulters. We need to have preventive mechanisms where we can look at how can we prevent having so many defaulters. And also the same concept I used, you need to understand what are the causes, what are the classes, how can you categorize the defaulters? Because in our unit, to give an example, in our unit or in our neighboring units we have, you can cluster the defaulters. Like you can have people, this happens so much with the professionals. You find a professional, maybe it's a nurse, he or she have moved to a different entity. They moved away from the current employer. They go there, they pay a loan for 2-3 months, and maybe before you know someone maybe moved from point A to B. Maybe after 6 months, they have moved to point C. You only know the person went to point B. But if you even go to a community, this person was paying the loan, he's still employed. You go and check, you find the person have already moved, he's no longer working there. So you have a group of defaulters who are, I would call them, I could call them dishonest defaulters, because they are defaulters by choice, because they're still earning, but they want to make easy money, because they know I've moved to from point A, B, and C. So my guarantors, people have guaranteed me, they don't know where I am. As a SACCO, we need to understand this and look of ways to deal with different groups, and also to see the solution you can offer to different groups. For the issue of defaulters, I can tell you for sure, it's not a one-sided problem. You cannot use one solution to solve all the problems. And also on the same thing, you need to develop strategies also to deal with defaulters. And we can talk of strategies. We can talk of the dishonest defaulters, people who are still earning, but they don't want to pay for their loans. You cannot deal with them the same way with someone who have just lost their job. Maybe the employer have closed shop or they have been retrenched. You cannot deal them with, so you need to have different mechanisms. So you need to understand. You need to understand the defaulters, where they're coming from, where the problem coming from, so as to be able to solve. We have another problem, like in several units from people I've talked to. We are having the SACCO issuing loans to people who are about to retire. That's the question I can ask the secretary when I'm given the chance to go to join the board. You need to check. If you're giving a loan to someone who is about to retire, you need to have a mechanism how they're going to pay. Because I have 4 or 5 cases where people have retired, and they got a loan maybe 1 year to retirement, and yet they didn't pay for their loan after the retirement. So the people who they left behind, they had to be deducted their money. So as a secretariat, I think WAUMINI can also check when they're giving loans to people. Look at the repayment period. Unless a person comes back and tells you, this is how I'll be able to repay for my loan when I retire. Because you find I've given someone a loan, he or she is 58 or 59. And the policy of the employer is you retire 60 years. And then you give someone a loan which they'll pay in 5 years. How do you expect? And that's why I'm saying we need to empower the secretariat to make some decision, to be able to advise the board. Because if you don't empower the secretariat is the one who's dealing with the customer, you're dealing with the member every day. You need to give them, to have that open channel discussion. Let the board learn of things. Let them hear of how the secretaries are willing to, the options they have to help the SACCO to improve. Because the board is not there on a daily basis to run the SACCO. You need a very clear communication. Of course, the CEO being the link between the board and being the link between the board and the secretariat. There are issues which we need to be looked at, and that's that's the kind of leadership I want to bring to the SACCO, where we look at the problem. What the problem would we have? What are the solutions can we have? And with that, I think I can rest my case there, and I would really, really wish and pray for everyone to give me a chance to serve in the board.
Thank you, CP Mburu. I was also coming to you to notify you that time is up. Thank you for a timely winding up. And that's a wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. Now we go to our next presenter, who is Patrick. Patrick, you can take the stage now. Patrick, CPA Patrick, please.
Hello, good evening.
Evening to you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is CPA Patrick Mwangi Karanja. I'm seeking the position of a supervisory member. First, I'll start with the introduction. I'm a certified public accountant. I hold a Bachelor of Commerce in Finance, and I have a diploma in business management. For the experience, I have over 10 years of working experience. Currently, I'm the Deputy Chief Finance Officer, St. Francis Community Hospital in Kasaran, which is a level 5 teaching and referral hospital. And I have also worked in Kiambu District Treasury. So what made me come up with a thought of joining the WAUMINI board? I have been a member from year 2015. I have interacted so much with my fellow members and staff of the WAUMINI, and I have been asking some questions. Since the SACCO was formed in the year 1980, how comes for over 43 years, we have a membership of 55,000, of which 44 are the active ones? So I have tried to gather some information, and I have come up with some points to note that we need some more of a supervision or to the board, because some of the things that chase away the members are some things that can be prevented if a keen look on the board is, a keen oversight is done. So I have a 4-point analysis to take you through. Number one is about the compliance. First, we'll have to ensure that our SACCO is operating as per the set laws, and the goals that we set are clearly followed, and we have to work on a way to make them achieved. We also have to check on the resolutions passed by the delegates. The delegates spend time to deliberate on our ADM. They come up with good ideas, and they raise them in the floor of the ADM meeting. So we have to make sure that we do some follow-up, because these are the points that are going to drive our SACCO forward. So we have to make sure that each and every issues raised are well deliberated and followed. Also, we have to ensure that our SACCO abides by the bylaws. The bylaw sets for the SACCO, by our SACCO now, the internal ones. Maybe on decision making, we have to make sure that the correct number of maybe the attendance, the meeting, maybe is achieved, so that we avoid some very few individuals from making some decisions that are involving thousands of members' money. And once maybe that, like for the liaison offices that were some time back closed, we need to have like a good representation for the board and other people to deliberate before maybe engaging in those offices to take care of the members' deposits. Also, we'll have to check on the management letters raised by the external auditors. This will help us to be able now to improve and to make sure that the audit requirements are well adhered to. That will help our SACCO to move forward. On point number 2, about the internal controls. So here we have to check on the internal control system in our SACCO. So we have to check from the board level to even the employees. We have to make sure that everything is working, and we even test the controls to make sure that our SACCO is safe and our resources are also secure. We also need to ensure that the board is exercising its own, it's the oversight role. This will start from the maybe hiring, the day-to-day operations, ensuring that the reports are well prepared, and each and everything that needs to be done is well done. So this is the work of the board, to keep the employees and to keep checking the processes, all are working. The other point is about the reconciliations. From the report, you can see we have over 9 million, which is unallocated. So my point here is we can try to improve on the reconciliation of both cash and bank, so that we can try to make sure that all this money are well accounted. Maybe this 9 million still transfers to the defaulted loans. Maybe some people have been paying their loans thinking that the money is reflecting their accounts, of which it's not. So we need to do a thorough and a proper reconciliation. We also need to do asset verification for the SACCO. The SACCO has a large pool of assets. We need a good team that is going to do the verification and to check on the ownership and to check on the controls, so that these assets can be used to generate income and to help our SACCO grow. Also, from where I sit, I'll try to check if the management is using the relevant tools to implement the day-to-day business. These are like budgets. Is the board trying to review the budgets, so that this budget will try to make sure that the resources are well utilized and they are being allocated to the budgeted projects, so that we can maybe be able to achieve the maximum benefit from these budgets that we take time to pass in the ADM meetings. About on point number 3, it's about the reporting. So from the supervisory committee, we should make sure that all the minutes that the group has are well kept for future reference. They should be kept even for like 10, 20 years. So because these are the permanent records that will be used by even the other coming managements, to see if maybe some issues were being raised and how the issues have been tackled. We also have to make sure that from the reports, we write very detailed reports to the delegates and to the management committees and the SASRA. And so that from these people, from these entities, I'm sure they can be able now to come and help. If for the SASRA, if there is something that needs maybe intervention from the SASRA, they can be able now to come in. Once we report maybe something to the delegates, they can be able now to come and know, oh, this is what is ailing our group. So these are some of the issues I have that are going to help our SACCO. There is another point about now the transparency and accountability. This is where we ensure that as the supervisory team, the presented financial statements are well scrutinized, they are accurate, and everything that is now being presented to the delegates and the other members is correct, and it reflects a true and fair view of our SACCO. To avoid some cases like the one for Chase Bank, where maybe some audit were coming out positive, but the inside part was a bit rotting. Also, I'll ensure that there is enough segregation of duties and proper authorization are done. This is to avoid some people being able to like perform task A to task Z, and this will try to eliminate the cover-up frauds. So once we come up with segregation of duties, we can know from point A to point B who is responsible, from point C to point D, and that will help our SACCO. The other issue is about carrying out system audits. I believe from the 10 years experience, the system audits helps, because sometimes the financial reports might seem very fine, but the systems are rotten. So we have to keep checking the systems, because the other time we were told that some systems were failing over the weekends, the SACCO systems. So we have to come up and check what was the real issue. Did the members lose their money? So we have to come up with a very robust audit team that can be able to audit the systems of the SACCO. We also have to come and make sure that the policies are established according to law are faithfully executed. This is where we take time to set the laws, but are our board members, are our employees faithfully executing those policies? So we have to come and check and be able to verify that these steps are well carried out, and we have to make sure that the people executing them have a faith in those policies that the delegates and the board have set. So with those few remarks, I extend to the team to vote for Patrick as a supervisory member. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CPA Patrick. I must commend you for maintaining time. Actually, you have done it perfect. You had 1 minute remaining. Thank you very much for that. And hopefully now this 1 minute will be donated to the next member who is coming. And this is Tom. Tom, it's your time now. You can take the stage. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you, moderator.
Thank you.
I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow delegates and members. To introduce myself, my name is Tom Mwindi. Married to one wife and blessed with one beautiful daughter. Academically, I hold a bachelor's degree in public administration from the University of Nairobi, and as well a master's degree from the same university. Currently pursuing my PhD, and hopefully in the graduation of December 2023, I'll crown it. In terms of experience, of over 18 years of high-level experience in administration and management. Currently, I'm an administrator and also a part-time lecturer at the JKUAT University College of Human Resource and Development Studies. And the experience that I've gotten over that long period of time, it has really come in hand to execute my duties, not only at my workplace, but also at the board level. It is said that we cannot know where we are going before we know where we are coming from. It is a fact that I've served in the board, WAUMINI board, from 2019 up to last year. And during that period, I felt it is wise and good to share the success stories that I achieved between that period. And then after that, I will also share the plans that I have for our great SACCO. Specifically, I must mention that I was the chairman of the Education and Marketing Committee And as you know, that is one of the core committees of WAUMINI SACCO. And despite the hard times that came with COVID, just at that time, I joined the board. And my short stint at governance, I achieved some of these success stories. Number one, I initiated and steered the establishment of debt recovery unit through advertising and shortlisting before end of my term. Those were delegates the time I was joining the board. I remember clearly telling delegates that they judge me by the efforts that I will do, particularly in the issue of debt management. And as a chairman of the marketing committee, I initiated this program by advertising, shortlisting, and by the time I left the board, I'm happy to hear that now there is a full functioning debt recovery unit that I initiated. I also initiated and actualized the establishment of WAUMINI SACCO office in Meru and transfer of Mombasa office from Likoni to the island. It's something I had also mentioned that we need to reach out to our members. We need to have physical offices because we have diversified members in our SACCO. Some who are not literate enough to use digital tools. And I had mentioned that I will see to it that we open at least 3 offices during my tenure. I can say that I opened the Meru office before my term came to an end in January of last year. We also relocated the Mombasa office to the from Likoni to the cathedral within the island. There's something that delegates can also remember. Around 2019, there was lots of distrust. There was lots of confusion among the board members. And I remember saying that I'm joining the board as a peacemaker. Actually, if you can remember, I joined the board to continue the term of one board member who had been suspended from the board. And remember, even during that time, there was also another board member who left the board unceremoniously before the end of his term. And I said, I'll bring this blend between the old members and the new coming board members in order to have a cohesive and a good team that will move forward. And I am happy this day when we're having these meetings, we see a good team that is pushing in the same direction. Also in the marketing, as the chairman during that time, and from the records that you've seen from the booklet, we reduced the operational cost budget by 22%. This was achieved by adopting technology, going paperless, and also cutting cost on some of the issues that were not critical to our SACCO. Also during that time, despite the tumultuous time that was brought by the COVID pandemic, we increased our membership by over 3,800 members. Again, to report also on the issues of default management, I processed over 10 defaulters whose properties were forwarded to auctioneers for disposal and recovery. This was the first one after many years. Yes, I came on board and I realized that some people had defaulted loans. They had their title deeds under the custody of WAUMINI SACCO, and I initiated the process where 10 defaulters were forwarded to auctioneers for action. As I was reading the booklet, I realized that even after that, these cases are in different levels of development. Still within that period, I forwarded over 5 units to the Ministry of Cooperative for failure to remit members' monthly contribution. It was a tradition from some of the employers who could deduct deductions from the employees. They would deliberately, in most cases deliberately, fail to forward to the SACCO. In this case, these members would suffer. And I remember I went to one of the units. When I tried to engage the management, I realized that yes, they were deducting, but they could forward them to their personal accounts where they would be there for like 6 months or 1 year. Then after gaining interest, now they would release the money and bring to WAUMINI SACCO. So in such a situation, that's why these 5 units, we had to forward them to the ministry. And I'm also happy, as I was reviewing this booklet, I realized that there are different levels of development. Over and above that, collectively serving the board, as can be guided by what we saw in this booklet, during my time, SACCO assets grew by 10%. There was also improved interest from all time of 6% to a record during that time of 8.5%. This was really a significant improvement in terms of our return on investments. Then also our deposits grew by 5%, share capital grew by 10%, and loans to members increased by 5.9%. Then also in terms of governance, the budget went down by 6%. The percentages might sound small, but if you look at the absolute figures, you realize here we are talking of millions and millions of cash. Then also during that time, there was the introduction of the rescheduling and the structuring of loans to mitigate COVID effects. You all very well know that a majority of our units come from faith-based institutions, and for almost 10 months, there was no remitting of deductions to the SACCO. And when now the economy opened up, we had to look for a stopgap measure in order to address these issues. I've said because of the limited time that I've been given, I'll just highlight some of the benefits, some of the achievements that I achieved during that period. Going forward, before I mention the key tenets of my manifesto, which is increase in interest, debt and default management, cut on operational costs, improve customer care, and enhance the digital presence. You'll allow me in 1 or 2 seconds to mention some specific areas that I feel once given this opportunity, I will go forward and achieve them. I've mentioned that I opened the Meru office as the chairman in charge of marketing and education, and it is in my interest that if given a chance, I will champion for establishment of a liaison office in Kisumu or Western region, and also a liaison office in Eastlands. Sometimes we have a majority of our members who are in some extreme areas of Western or Kisumu, and they have, like, for instance, come all the way to Kisii to present their loan applications. And if you check the statistics, a majority of our members come from this region. I want to assure them, if I get this chance, I will champion for that. Yes, we have a liaison office in Gong. Gong, yes, we have members who are there. And when I did the statistics, I realized that a majority of our members also come from Eastlands. Suppose we open a liaison office like the one we have in Gong in Eastlands. It will be easier for someone to operate from this region rather than boarding a matatu, go to town, board another matatu, go either to Applewood or go to Westlands. So by opening this office near our members, I'm sure we will go to the right direction. As also mentioned about the governance of our SACCO. It is true that there will always be limits of service to our SACCO. And I mentioned something that when I joined the board, I will champion that all board members should serve at least for 2 terms of 3 years each. If the government or the president of Kenya has some term limit, even as at our SACCO level, we should have limits. Surely, like me, Tom, I'm given 6 years to serve. If I cannot bring change within 6 years, even if I'm given 30 years, I'm sure I cannot bring any change. So I was thinking, and it's in my plan that in our next ADM, if I push this motion that from 2024 or 2024 going forward, as much as the cooperative law does not allow this, but it has given us the opportunity as individual SACCOs to cap board governance. Then also, I'm championing for revamping of the benevolent fund to accommodate at least nuclear family. For WAUMINI SACCO, we are a family. When you lose your child, God forbid. When you lose your spouse, God forbid, you need this family to be with you. It should not only come when a member leaves this world. We should extend it such that when you lose your child, when you lose your spouse, at least WAUMINI stands with you. Then another thing that I will champion is it's about the facilitation of our delegates. They need to execute their duties efficiently. Statistics are showing that of the almost 50,000 members, less than 500 of them are delegates. That forms less than 1%. Delegates are the cog of SACCO. They are the agent that move our SACCO. They are the supreme body. They give us the link with the members. Suppose we facilitate them efficiently, and I'm sure a majority of them now can confirm. Everyone is calling them left, right, center. When are we getting these dividends? They have to talk to these people. Suppose we empower them even to do marketing. I'm sure our SACCO will go to the next level. I felt the urge and the need to mention those specific areas that, as a board member, given the chance, I will ensure that I execute them, and you'll be there to judge me by my word. Going to what I can call the broad brush, areas that I feel we need to improve, and given a chance that I'll work on. Number one, I've mentioned on increased dividends and interest. And I have some practical strategies to achieve this. Number one, by reducing operational cost. This is by identifying areas to cut down on costs without compromising on the quality of services. And by doing this, we will increase our profits and make more funds available for distribution as dividends and interest. Also, through diversification of our investment portfolio, I'll try collectively with other board members, try to identify new investment opportunities that can offer high returns and better diversifications. Definitely, this will help us maximize our returns and mitigate potential losses. Then definitely by enhancing efficiency, that is by improving operational efficiency through streamlining processes and adopting technology solutions. This will enable us to offer faster and more reliable services to our members. Then another way to increase our dividends and
thank you, Tom. Time is up. Time is up. You have
sorry,
bypassed by 1 minute. Yeah. Time is up. Maybe I give you 1 minute. 1 minute.
Thank you.
One
Thank
minute.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate that. So issues of increase in membership and loan uptake, we've realized that almost 60% of our members, they are not servicing alone. Suppose we come with different avenues that we can engage our members. Still on the issue of debt and default management. Yes, we have a default unit. Suppose now we decentralize these default units to go to the branches rather than taking someone from Nairobi to go and follow up on a default. Suppose we have a debt management officer in Kisii, in Nakuru, in Meru, it will be easier for us to reach out to other members. Then definitely we need to cut on operational costs by reviewing our expenses, automating our processes, and embracing technology. Then lastly, I know customer care has been an issue. Suppose we establish a customer-centric culture, it will be good. So thank you very much, fellow delegates and members. God bless you. And I request that you vote for me to achieve these dreams for the greater interest of our SACCO. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Tom, for your presentation. We'll come back to you to address a few issues on governance, since the member who was suspended from the board is me, and we'll come to you with a question later on. Now, the next member online is Mr. Maurice Sieno. Maurice, welcome.
Good evening, members.
Evening to you.
Am I loud and clear?
Yes.
I'm trying to get my video on. Yes. Okay. Are you able to see this face? Hello?
Yes, we can see you.
Oh, that is good. That's good. Once again, good evening, members, and I want to start off by probably introducing myself, although I thought I should not, considering the time I've been with you. in the interest of our new members, CPM Buru, as well as Rosa Chiego, Kyoko Martin, and all who could be following up this. My name is Morris Otsieno. I have a middle name Oko, which I rarely use because I came to discover it was not my genuine name, but it was too late to change it. And those who follow me up on the social media, you might realize that they are totally different names from the names I use, apart from Morris, yeah? But others, you'll get names like Mritsi, Wakusinyo. So officially, I like using the name Morris Otsieno. I'm a board member, currently serving as a vice chair of the board. And I am an employee of Radio WAUMINI, the first Catholic radio in the country and a pioneer member of that radio. And so, apart from that, I've tried going to school, done a bit of reading. I hold a master's degree in development communication. And apart from that, a diploma in communication and public relations from Kenya Poly. My master's degree is from Daystar University, and a bachelor's degree in communication from Mo University, and a postgraduate diploma in media studies from the Catholic University of Milan in Italy. Basically, other than the communication line, I'm a teacher by profession, having qualified as a primary school teacher way back in 1983 from Shanzo Teachers College. And apart from that, a soccer expert in terms of being a football coach, volleyball coach, and many others, a member of Kenya Editors Guild in the communication, and a member of Kenya Environment and Science Journalists Association, among many others. I've been in the board. Okay, I'm married. Oh, sorry, I'm married. I'm not just married, but also a grandfather and a cook and yote, mchanganyo. So, as it is, we are in this forum, and I just want to take this first opportunity. I know, Bwana Moderator, you're going to demand your time to appreciate the organizers of this session. I listened to the presentations, I'm like, wow. But these are the young men who should be taking over from us in the very, very near future. And if they can get an opportunity like this to expound their points, then probably we'll get people who can push our SACCO to greater heights, where some of us call it a day. And so today we are in this forum because in the next about 48 hours or so, we'll be having our annual delegates meeting, where some of us, I have presented myself seeking to still serve the members. And then the point is, why am I still there trying to serve members? Simply because of one or two reasons that I have to share with you this evening. In most cases, every family must have a grandfather. So there's need for a grandfather to be there. And that is why I qualify. But above all, up and above all, honorable members, kindly follow my track in what I've been able to do from the time I joined the board in 2013, because after that, I'll now try to justify to you why that board still needs me for another few years from now. One, being a communication person, my line of operation mostly has to do with the communication with the members. Let me be very kind to my friends. Rose is a girl I've mentored, now a very honorable lady. Martin and Bonamburu. This issue of being in the board is not a walk in the park. Hapa unakutana na jamaa, wale wanakuja with the set minds and set objectives. Sasa wewe na CPA yako utagonga ujikute huko kande mtaro. Here you must have a thick skin. And Felix, you are here. Kipchillis, you are here. You know how we are threatened, Felix, you know. You have to have a thick skin because you'll be threatened. Lazima ukae ngumu.
Mollis, point of order.
Yes.
Point of order, issue of threatening should not come in. I think go straight to your agendas and manifesto. Then
thank you.
Those ones
thank
will
you.
come
Thank you, Bwana Moderator. I was just trying to alert my good friends who are coming in, who are intending to join me so that we move forward. So, my track record, here I go. One, membership growth. If you have the data from 2012, the SACCO had 14,690. all through. At one time, currently I serve as the chair of that committee. Today, our number stands at 55,584. Have I marketed the SACCO as a member of the marketing committee as the chair 2 times? Yes, I have. You can see that difference. By virtue of being the vice chair from April last year, I was able to mobilize my staff to embark on aggressive recruitment drive that saw our new members, our membership grow by 4,500. And then my second point is that in terms of dormancy of members, I was able to, through the CEO of the SACCO, to initiate a move where the staff were assigned to call the dormant members. Why do we have dormant members? There are various reasons. Some have been called by the Almighty. Some lost their jobs. Some have moved to other destinations. So in the course of last year, we have been able to reactivate. We have been able to reactivate over 1,000 accounts. And my target for this year, 2023, is to do 1,200 more accounts, trying to trace these members, finding out the challenges, and then definitely convincing them to come back and continue saving, even at the very lowest level. Members, in 2022, as the vice chair of the SACCO, I was given a budget. Delegates gave a budget of 18 million, if I'm not wrong. Out of that budget of 18 million for 2022, in exercising good financial practice and prudence, I was able to save 8 million from that figure. That 8 million has been plowed back to the benefit that we are going to get when the announcement is done this Saturday. Am I not member conscious? Indeed I am. So members will benefit. This year, 2023, I have a budget of 19 million. I can assure you, I'll save for you not less than 9 million shillings. That will still benefit as a surplus to the SACCO, right? Return on investments. If you look at the trends, 2019 we did 9.25. 2020 we gave 6.5, and we gave an excuse of COVID. With 2021 we went to 8.5. 2022 we are giving 9%. Members, we are giving 9% because there was mismanagement of resources last year between January and the ADM time. Had it not been mismanagement of resources, I would have assured you, I would have given you 10%. Because you have given me 5 young men whom I'm mentoring, and they are listening to Mzee and saying, Mzee, able to patia guidance hapa mbele tunaenda namna gani. I mean, this one is not necessary. Let's save for the members. So I can assure you, if you give an opportunity to go back and be a board member, and I can assure you I'll still be the vice, I promise you nothing less than 10%. I don't want to give the exact figure, but I expect a double digit in terms of your interest. Wacha hii dividend watu wanadanganya nayo watu wanasema 30% dividend. I can assure you will be doing something over 16%. But interest, I'm promising you nothing less than a double digit figure. And if I'm not wrong, we can do 12 to 13 very easily. Loan portfolio in 2021, the loan uptake was only 2.5 billion, leading to the growth of from 4.1 billion to 5.1 billion. In 2023, my plan includes mobilizing members to take up at least 3.6 billion. This will ensure that the loan portfolio rises from 5.1, where it is currently 5.1 billion, to 5.7. How do we execute this? It's not just a matter of saying, I'll do it. No, plan is this simple. Mobilization of individual members. We have to talk to our members who don't have loans, educate them, right? Educate them on why they need to take, even if the guarantor issue is an issue, they can take self-guaranteed loans. They can. That is my target, and that is my work plan. My friends, we are now bringing in institutions. My institution I work for, before the end of this week, they'll be members. They need a loan of not less than 10 million. I'll mobilize my marketing team to campaign to enroll more corporate members. We want more institutions. We'll organize more regional education to members to make them understand how loans can benefit them. And we'll particularly target members without loans and send to them constant reminders, talk to them. That is my execution plan. Number 4, reviewing of pricing models. In the year 2021-2022, through the Education and Marketing Committee, I was able to drive the reduction pricing model of SACCO products because of the complaints that were coming to my team when they go for marketing. People are complaining the pricing is high. So in 2022, when I took over as the vice chair, we have been able to reduce the pricing of the following product. Mujengo loan, we have brought it down from 14% to 12.5% so that more members can access this product. Corporate loan, we are initially charging 14%. During my year last year, we brought it down to 12.5%. Honorable members, we have a good liquidity rate. We have money. This money cannot lie idle because members have not taken loans. In the year 2021, go to the records. We, as a SACCO, we invested, that time I was not the vice chair, we invested 100 million shillings in treasury bonds. In 2022, as the vice chair, I was able to convince my executive and other members that we pump there more money. So we pushed there another 200 million in the treasury bonds. My target in 2023, I can assure you, is to push there a further 300 million in treasury bonds at an interest rate of above 12%, to be precise, 13.79. You can see what we'll get at the end of this year. So I'm there for a purpose. I'm not just there to sleep, no. Customer care. I've made several trips out and I've met you members. And there have been a complaint, phone as ichukuliwi, nobody responds to you. I've carried out a research. I've talked to other friends in other circles, UN SACCO, police SACCO, have friends. Then I've discovered, oh, we are missing something here. We are missing something called customer relationship management system. So with this one, all our queries about customer care is a closed chapter. So this is not a simple gadget to get. So in our current budget, I've proposed a budget of 3 million to create a call center first. That will be the first step. Then in 2024, our budget will be proposed for the buying of the CRM software. With this, I can assure you members, 99% of all customer care issues will have been sorted out.
Thank you, Maurice. Time is up.
If you allow me to sum up, Bwana Moderator.
1 minute.
I'll finish up with strengthening of relationship with the dioceses. You'll remember that in the last ADM, some of us were accused of pulling the church away from the SACCO. No, we have to go to the dioceses. Those are where the churches are. So this is aimed at bringing the church closer to the SACCO. So as we engage bishops directly, educating them on what WAUMINI SACCO is and how we can partner to make it better. So in 2022, my committee ensured that all board members, all, and I mean all, were participating in these engagements, unlike in 2021 and previous years, when just a few clique of board members were going. What are the results? Already 3 dioceses have joined the SACCO as corporate members, right? My committee spent a far much less amount of money in participating in these meetings, unlike in 2021, when a few board members participated by spending huge amounts of money. I want to stop there, but this document, I'll post it to Bwana Dr. Kipchillis so that members can read it online, what I have for plan. Members, give me more young people. I mentor them before I leave the SACCO. When my time comes to leave Radio WAUMINI, you will not me see asking you that I want to be in the SACCO. I'll simply tell you, members, thank you and God bless you. To that end, mbarikiwe sana wapendwa. Kumbukeni Jumamosi, Maurice, Ooko, Otieno, board member, nibakie vice, nimalizie. Asante.
Thank you, Maurice, for your presentation. We appreciate what you have done. And equally, we have to tell you that here we are presenting our ideas. We love the SACCO and we don't fear any forces. We don't fear anything. And also we don't try to scare those ones who are trying to apply the board. So that's why they are here, to say their manifesto, so that the members, the delegates, will make a decision. Thank you, Maurice. Now, the next presenter is Dr. Kiriko Jonathan. Dr. Jonathan, please take over.
Thank you very much, Moderator, honorable delegates, WAUMINI members, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, good evening. I just want to take this opportunity to say a few things. Number one is to say that we all have great ideas. All my worth competitors have sold their manifestos, they have said a lot, and even those who are not seeking any election, you have great ideas. The big question is how to convert those ideas into reality. Just like they talk of board papers, they talk of tabling a paper that is convincing to many stakeholders, to stakeholders like the members themselves, the board, the ministry, SASRA, and all those kind of stakeholders. Dr. Jonathan Kiliko is a WAUMINI member since 1997. I'm member number 6221, and I have patronized faithfully this organization for those many years. I joined the board in 2017, and I served for 1 or 2 years. Then members of the board saw my potential. So I became a treasurer in 2018, and a position that I held up to 2021. In terms of what we have done to date, I just want to summarize just an overview for the sake of those who may not have interacted with me by sharing just a short slide, just one pager, something that I have already posted. Jonathan is a PhD holder in business administration, in corporate governance and strategic management. I hold a MBA in strategic management and marketing. I'm a teacher of economics and business, postgraduate diploma courses in marketing, leadership, mentorship, and coaching. I also have attended a host of other courses in various disciplines of management and governance and leadership. So in terms of experience, I have over 25 years experience in senior management and leadership, more than 30 years consultancy assignments that could be leveraged for WAUMINI SACCO governance, more than 10 years experience in cooperatives, 6 years of which have been with WAUMINI, that is 2017 to this year now, March, 2 terms. So I'm seeking my last term, that is for the third term of 3 years. I have also drawn wide experience from memberships of various institutional boards. So here I'm asking you to vote for a leader and not for a manager. I have a proven and trusted leadership abilities with integrity and commitment to results. Just to highlight a few achievements in summary, as a board member, I have strengthened partnerships with Catholic dioceses and also dioceses. Since 1997, I've been working for Mission for Essential Drugs and Supplies, MEDS, which interacted with all the 26 dioceses in Kenya. And therefore, going through has been quite a walk in the park in terms of meeting the archbishops and bishops. Also established a staff appraisal as a treasurer who was now directly supervising staff appraisal system with a reward system also, where good efforts are rewarded. Also, we reviewed insurance cover for members. And these ones I'm not saying I did. I'm saying tabling a paper for board to discuss and approve so that we get those kind of good benefits, where we are talking of the 160 and the 200% and such like things. Actually, that has motivated many members to deposit because it's like an insurance cover they are taking, because they know once the Lord takes you, your next of kin will have 200% of what they have saved. Then provided within the boardroom in terms of decision making, prudent decision making, where we look and analyze issues and make a decision that will have a long-lasting impact. So as the SACCO treasurer, I managed to steer your treasury. And last year, we were given 5 awards during the Ushirika Day celebration in different categories, because that is not something that comes within a year. It is watched over the years. And during that period, WAUMINI stood out as a leading SACCO society, which is community-based. Community means we are drawing membership from all over in the country. During that same period, when I was a treasurer, because of prudence, we moved WAUMINI to Tier 1 deposit taking SACCO. That means over 5 billion organization, and it is not something that you can entrust anybody. You need people with kind of tested leadership and management abilities really to safeguard your treasury, to safeguard your organization. We also had improved cash liquidity, and that is why, like one of my fellow delegates and also competitor indicated of treasury bonds. It was now during my period where we had to write a paper, and the board again considered, SASRA gave an okay, and we started now investing outside just loans, because members were not patronizing. Also introduced strategic planning with a difference. In other words, the strategic plan that is coming to an end, and the one that is starting January this year, it's where you look and see lots of things that will turn around this SACCO for greater improvement. As a credit committee chair, which I started the beginning of last year, we introduced the second development loan. Again, here we are talking of writing a convincing kind of proposal to both the board and also to the regulatory authority to approve. Same also, we reviewed Mjengo loan, staff development loan, institutional loan, where we are now saying there are better terms. We're favoring members because of now the comment, the feedback that we have been receiving from you as members and good patronizers of these products. We also realized improved turnaround in processing loans to members. My promise to members is to offer transformational leadership that is going to move the SACCO to the next level. Tumetoka mbali, tumefika mbali, na tunaenda mbali. I also promise to be one of those proponents and the people who are moving the issue of ISO certification, because that sets the organization to be self-regulating in terms of their system, and it also ensures SACCO efficiency. I will also be winding up by looking at the amendment of our policies, of our bylaws, to favor members and also to create an enabling environment to you, because as delegates, they are the supreme authority. You are the governors, actually. You are the ones who oversee the board members. And therefore, we need to strengthen that from the delegates to board members up to the staff, so that we can serve our members with clear direction and also with the clear conscience. I will focus on strategic focus areas that increase members' return on investment. These are various issues that we have encapsulated the same in our strategic plan. Also, spearheading process reengineering, and this is for improved SACCO performance. There are so many processes that we still are doing things the way they have been done because we found them being done. Those kind of issues, we need to address them. Protection of guarantors and ways of securing loans, that is pursuing the defaulters. This is an issue, and we have gotten lots of suggestions and proposals. Even during the time of delegate education, we got a lot of feedback. This feedback needs to be processed and then put in a workable document that can be used for decision making. Review of products and services to members, like WAU Cash, where members become like they are bad for years. We want to really look at what exactly can be done And there is now the system upgrade, which is going to address all those things. Introduction also of new products, listening to your feedback, to your comments, because as I said, even other than those seeking election, I know each and every one of us here has got bright ideas for this organization. So how do we harness all that for the betterment of this organization? We'll also look at improved compensation plan for the delegates during and after their term. After your term, it means you become a member. And when we are members, we want to sit back and see, yes, my investment is in safe hands, and I can rest assured that I will get return for that investment. I'll pursue and continue training, coaching, and mentoring our staff for improved services to members. This is not something I'm promising to do single-handedly. I am now talking of issues that we need now to work towards, to lift our eyes from just the managerial aspect, but aspects of leadership. I know in the WhatsApp group and also feedback from members, they have been crying of the 6% which was given in 2020. And I want to make a comment on that, where we all know the economy shut down in 2020. There were no schools, there were no services in parishes, institutions closed down, and all our employees, those guards, those teachers, those people, they lost their jobs. Most of them had loans. Those loans were not performing. In fact, according to the regulator, who is SASRA, we were not to give anything because we were not guaranteed that these people are going to pay their loan. They were to have their jobs back. And that is a year of exception. I want to say before that, 2019, we gave interest rate on deposits of 9.25. Then we dipped down because of COVID. Then we picked up in 2021 to 8.5. And I would say for this year, last year, we're promising to give a 9% with 15% on deposit. So members, I'm seeking your consideration for re-election as a board member for my last term, 3 years. In other words, I just want to serve for this final term, and after that, leave the other upcoming people in safe hands when the organization has got very firm systems that they are tested, and we know that our investment will be in safe hands. Thank you and God bless you. Come Saturday, please come prepared to give your votes to Dr. Jonathan Kiliko. And God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kiriko, for that presentation. That was good. You tried as much as you have done to keep time. And now I request Margaret. Margaret, it's your time to do your presentation. Margaret? Margaret, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, Margaret, it's your turn.
Can somebody hear me?
Yes, I
Okay.
can hear you from my end.
Okay, thank you very much, moderator. Just before I start, I think we had some power shortage here, and I did not know the time, how much time is given to each person. Could I kindly request to know that?
Yes. It's 12 minutes. Previously it was 10. So the first presenter extended by 2 minutes. So we capped it at 12 minutes each.
12 minutes.
Yes,
okay.
Please.
Thank you, Chair, for that.
Starting now.
Thank you, moderator, for that clarification. Members of WAUMINI SACCO in here, the moderator, delegates, and fellow aspirants who have been nominated to vie for WAUMINI SACCO board and the supervisory committee. It's a pleasure to present myself in this forum and thank you for those who have organized this forum. My name is Margaret Mwaniki. I am a mother and a grandmother, and I've worked with.
We don't have it.
Kindly unmute. Who is that? Please unmute. Unmute, please. Okay, Margaret, continue.
Okay, so I was saying I'm a mother and a grandmother, and I've worked in this Catholic church for over 27 years. I worked at diocesan level, my own diocese, Murang'a Diocese, in Development and Social Services Department. After that, I worked with Kenya Bishops, Conference of Bishops. I worked there as the National Women and Gender Development Coordinator. After that, I left and worked in AMESEA as a Caritas coordinator for the 8 countries then, now 9, including Sudan and South Sudan. And after that, I joined Caritas Africa as a regional director for the English-speaking countries in Africa. Of course, that explains whom I am. I am a visionary leader. That's why I've been able to rise from a lower level of leadership to very high global level. At governance level, I have participated in many governance forums, including governance of Caritas Internationalis in Vatican City, where I was an African delegate in the board for 8 years. I was also a president of a gender working group in Vatican that was really fighting for the voice of women in decision-making of issues in Vatican, because most of the people who were involved in decision-making were either bishops who were bishop chairmen or in their countries, or national directors or regional directors, mostly were men. So I have a gender passion, and therefore every time I look at issues, I would also want to look at what are the gender perspectives in every decision that we make. How does it affect both men and women? And in this case, in WAUMINI SACCO, both women members and men members. I have worked in various structures within the WAUMINI SACCO since I joined as a board member since 2017. This is my 3rd term. I'm seeking for re-election in 3rd term, and this is the last term that I would wish to participate. The question is, why am I seeking for the 3rd term? Because I feel that there is still something that we have not done, that needs to be done, that needs to be enhanced by the time I leave. If I look at what I have been able to do for the time I have been in WAUMINI SACCO, there's a lot. I've participated in credit committee, and in the credit committee, when I joined the SACCO, I joined the credit committee. And one of the things that was being done in the credit committee is that members were just coming and approving the loans, all without really analyzing what these loans are, and looking at what are some of the issues that are glaring, telling us that these are not quality loans. And therefore, one of the changes we made is that in the credit committee, you don't only approve the loans, but you analyze these loans critically, starting from members' ability to pay, starting from what are the interguarantees that are there in between that can also be used to default the loans, and also seeing how can we be able to improve the quality of loans to members. I also participated in the audit committee, which was looking at internal issues of the SACCO. Are we compliant? What are some of the areas that we could improve in enhancing compliance in the SACCO? And also looking at what are the risk factors that are there. I also joined twice in the Finance and Administration Committee that is charged with the responsibility of looking at the finances and looking at the financial decisions that affect the SACCO. I also participated in the marketing committee, where we came up with a policy of ensuring that we need to increase our visibility. Even when there are like church functions, we need to be seen so that members can also feel that they are known within the churches. What have I achieved? I don't want to repeat all what the members have said, because one thing I want to tell you, members and delegates, is that any achievement in the SACCO cannot be attributed to one person. And anybody who is coming here to say, I did, I think they should revisit that to we did, because teamwork is key. When I joined the SACCO, there was a lot of individualism within the board. But one thing that I created with my experience working in the church for over 27 years, where I remember at one time, we had to change the way people even write letters to customers saying I to we, enhancing teamwork. So I used that opportunity to enhance teamwork and say, when we are talking as a board, we are talking as a corrective decision. And any decision that is taken correctively is implemented by the SACCO and cannot be attributed to one person per se. Of course, there is the driver, a person who drives the agenda and keeps on saying this is the agenda that we have to follow. I don't deny that, but the decision is collectively made by all the members of the board. So, what are some of the key achievements that me as Margaret, apart from issues like membership, which of course all of us had some input, issues of reducing expenses in the SACCO, both for the board members and also for the operation expenses, issues like increasing membership, efficiency, training, all those are corrective responsibilities. So I want to give things that I felt I had a big contribution to the SACCO. One, I have been a honorary secretary. And when I came in, the board meetings were very scanty. Being a CPS holder, CPS 2, I've done up to section 3 and 4. I looked at the minutes and said we must make some improvement on the way the minutes are written, because you would see 1 minute with one sentence being a minute or being a resolution. There's no background, there is no discussion points that come tomorrow. If you look at these minutes, you cannot really say what happened. So I initiated improvement of minutes and even the coding of the minutes, so that you can know this is the meeting that was held on a particular date, and this is the minute number. So I improved the way the minutes were written, bringing professionalism to the SACCO and to the way the minutes are written, so that in case anybody wants to come and review what were some of the decisions, then they can do that. One of the other things that I found is that the SACCO had very outdated policies that were at the time when we had not expanded our common board to faithfuls and there was arrendos. They were archaic policies. So as a honorary secretary, and being one of the roles of the secretary to ensure compliance, is that I looked at all the policies and I initiated a process of policy review. We had meetings with all heads of departments coming together collectively and individually. And we changed even the way the policies were presented. We standardized the policies and we used the methodology of ISO certification to ensure that we have policies that can guide the staff on operations. Any organization that is not guided by policies, then it is held, it is run haphazardly. We also saw that at the departmental level or at the secretariat level, there were no standard operating procedures, and that automatically follows the policy review. So we also sat with the staff, and very much so with my predecessor, who was Sylvia Ngumo, may her soul rest in peace. We walked through that process. I also ensured one of the role as a honorary secretary is to ensure that the WAUMINI SACCO is ensuring that it runs within the rules and regulations in our bylaws, in the government, in the laws and regulations of the SACCO, with the Act, the Cooperative Acts, both 2018, 2020, 2008, looking at them and are we compliant? Does WAUMINI SACCO comply with these regulations? We also looked at the SASRA regulations, and occasionally any decision that was being made, I took it upon myself as a secretary to check whether that is within our mandate or it's within the rules and the regulations. During my time, I also ensured efficiency in the operations of the SACCO, that the secretariat does not use a lot of expenses, reduction in expenses in everything that we are doing, and looking at what are the cost benefit analysis of any decision or any operation that was to be taken by the secretariat, and were there any other alternatives. And I took it upon myself to challenge even decisions in the board on those areas, and this quite improved the SACCO. Sometimes it's good to have a voice of dissent, a voice that says, no, we cannot move that way, a voice that gives an alternative version or solution, a voice that will bring reason to the SACCO, and that's what I have been doing. I think I would then pride myself that for the years I've been there, we've seen growth in the SACCO assets that have moved us from tier 3 or 4 to tier 1 among the best SACCOs in the country, and that has brought up the many trophies that were given to the SACCO. Not only last year, even the previous years, we have received some trophies during the Ushirika Day. Then one of the things that
Margaret, time is up.
Oh,
Your time is up. You have
okay.
gone past 2 minutes, just 1 minute.
Can I have 1 minute? Okay.
Yes,
so,
1 minute.
So I want to say that
We can't hear her.
Yeah, I thought I'm the one who has lost internet. I
No,
can't
no,
hear.
no. She
Okay.
also
Margaret, are
can't
you there?
hear.
Margaret? Margaret? Okay. Thank you for that presentation. We have lost you. Meanwhile, we look
walikuwa
for...
na shida ya stima.
Yeah, most likely inaweza kuwa imeenda. Pole, sorry for that. But that was a good presentation. And one thing I've noted from Margaret is that she has taken it honestly to say that whatever the team that's in the board has said, some of the content they have owned that they did Ristika as a team, not as an individual. That one you can attest, every member has had that. Thank you for that. We would like now to get the last presenter, who is Mariana. Are you on board? Mariana, in case you're on board, please take stage. Mariana Kipchillis, have you spotted her? Kipchillis?
Not yet, sir. Not yet, sir.
She's not around?
I've not seen her.
Okay, thank you. Mariana, I had was also an aspirant on supervisory, bearing in mind that she has not sent an laboratory, she has not popped in, and also give her manifesto to the members so that they can make an informed opinion coming this Saturday on what or whom members should elect. So that one definitely we leave to members to make a decision. We can't rule it. We don't know whether maybe what decision she had decided to take, but it's also members to make an informed decision. So thank you, members, for presenting. At this time round, we could like to take the shortest time possible. First and foremost, there are some questions. I can see Paul Ngala has raised the hand. Paul, we'll give you a minute. Just hold on. I would like to take the first batch of questions through all the aspirants, one question each, and the question will be based on the manifesto they have shared. We have picked some questions. There are several questions that have been said to us to ask the members, but I will take the first batch. Then the second will be taken by Kipchillis, whereby we'll be having members asking questions one each. Now, the questions we are going to answer, we could like to be as clear to the point and also take the shortest time possible. In this regard, each question will take 2 minutes. 2 minutes to answer each question. And first and foremost, I would like to start with the questions that have been raised here, a number of them. The first one goes to the first presenter. And the question is, Rose, are you ready for this? Rose, are you there? Rose, if Rose is not ready, then the next question now goes to yes, Rose. The first question comes to your side, and the question is asking, as you have shown interest to join the board, there is what is known as oversight. How will you oversight the board that you intend to join in? How will you be doing the oversight role as a board member of WAUMINI SACCO? You have 2 minutes. Can you hear us, please?
She's on mute.
Unmute Rose. Rose, unmute
Rose,
yourself.
please
And speak.
unmute.
Rose, we can't hear you. Derek, can you hear? I can't hear myself.
Si Jacob can unmute her.
Kipchillis, can you unmute her, please, from your end?
She's unmuted.
Okay, let me.
She's actually unmuted and we cannot hear.
She unmuted and then mute.
Okay. Rose, you can unmute Okay. Yes, Ross? Fine, we can't hear. So we move to the next. And now this one goes to our fellow member, board member aspirants. This is CPM Buru. CPM Buru, can you tell us what you understand more about research and development in the SACCO? How would you embrace that to increase growth?
Research, I would like to explain when you talk about research and development, you're talking of looking at you can talk in terms of needs or in terms of products, which is only product offers credit in terms of loan. I can say on top of research, you can do an in-house research or an out-house research where you look at, you can look at different aspects of the members, like the members you can take, for example, like you can look at the most of our members, they're in which country, because you cannot say you have customers or members who are of the same country. So you talk of the research, you can look at different, like the incomes, how much they're getting. So as you can develop some products which is tailor-made to meet their needs. And also you can talk of research in terms of new products, which can be based on even the industry they are working on, because when you're talking of you cannot have the same product like for hospitals and schools. As you know, you have corporate members who are in different industries. So you need to look at, like, when the members you are having or corporate members you're having in the education industry, you cannot have same product as people in the medical. You need to have tailor-made products. So you need to have research to know their needs, to know how they can be able to pay, what are their terms. Like when you talk about schools, you can talk of schools, they have different timeline when they have their cash flows, because we cannot in school, we cannot expect school to have any cash flow when they have closed. So you need to have those things in your fingertip as you develop their products and as you expect them to meet their obligations, because their cash flow you have to understand. So when I talk, in my opinion, when I talk about research and development, I can look in terms of the products you want to offer.
Thank you, Mr. Mbur, for that. Thank you. That's well done. And now the next question also goes to, this is CPA Kyoko. CPA Kyoko. This question is also, how will you increase efficiency using the fintech technology?
Okay, fintech is a financial management system, and of course, that's a tool. And as we say about efficiency, the board oversees management. And so using our ICT department, we are able to see if we have the system in place, how is it being managed? And as I had mentioned during my presentation, there is an issue of cost benefit analysis. For example, when you apply it, how efficient is it? How many members of staff are deployed to be able to operate the system in such a way that, comparing the cost of managing the system and the benefit that comes in, we are saving. That is how best, because it's an accounting program, it should be able to produce reports that are able to be understood, customized reports for the board to be able to understand and make decisions quickly. So any program is supposed to make to increase efficiency.
Thank you, Mr. This is Kyoko, CPA Kyoko. Thank you very much. Now the next question goes to Tom. Tom, we have a good number of questions have come on your dockets. One is saying that the first question, Tom, goes like this. You said, this is a question from a member asking that, ask Tom. He has said that he managed to open several license offices. Now, Tom, can you tell the team, the offices you opened, are they performing well or they are a problem child? Second, how much has been generated to the overall kitty of the SACCO from those license office you opened. Thirdly, it has been mentioned that the team, you work as a team as the board. So were you singly opening those offices as an individual or as a team in terms of the board members? Thank you.
Thank you, moderator. I'll respond to the question. Well, I said I opened 2 offices. That is actually one office, that is Meru, which I was very categorical that it was Meru, and the transfer of liaison office in Mombasa from Likoni to the island. I think maybe the person has connected with what I said. Suppose I'm given an opportunity, I will replicate the same experience and probably take it to Nairobi Eastlands, and also, if possible, to Kisumu or the larger Western region. It is a fact that as much as people are embracing technology, as much as people want to go wireless, they want to move away from the brick and mortar offices. Statistics and research has shown that there are some categories of people that as much as you go virtual, as much as you go virtual, you cannot really reach out to them. A good example, and what informed this, one of the leading banks, that is Equity Bank, from statistics, you've seen how they opened physical offices last year but one, something that they had stopped quite back, because we have some of our members out of age, out of some maybe lack of benefit to conclusive formal education, cannot really manage to operate these things. And my assumption and my belief and my focus is that when we bring these office to the people, they are able to reach, to get these services. I'm sure here we have members of this SACCO from Meru. They can witness, they can confirm that they really appreciate this. In terms of the benefits, I want to believe, and maybe the report that we'll get, because that is an office that I initiated in January of 2022, that was last year. Maybe from the books of accounts and records, I'm sure maybe they'll be able to inform and tell us that maybe the office has broken even, or maybe there's some, it is a going concern and a possibility of maybe being stable. The other thing I've said, well, in board, there are different committees. There's education and marketing committee. There is credit committee. There is audit committee. Suppose audit committee members go out, they will present and say, as members of audit committee or as the chair of audit committee, we went and evaluated Kisii branch, and this is the outcome. So when I was the one in charge of education and marketing, I'm the one who steered and brought these, pushed these initiative, this project, which I appreciate that was embraced by the board. And during the opening, the board was there and they actively participated to ensure that the process goes well. So we cannot really individualize some of these efforts, but definitely, there has to be a brainchild. Definitely, there has to be an originating person in order for this thing to be realized. Thank you, Bwana Moderator.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. And I think having initiated those good projects, it would have been prudent enough if you were to say quantitatively what has been generated by those license office, because at the end of the day, we are interested in returns. We can invest as much as we invest. We should also look at the commensurate returns. What are we getting from that end? Thank you, Tom. Now, the next question goes to Daktari. Daktari, this question is, yes?
Can I respond to that kindly in a nutshell?
Just a moment.
Yes.
I'll come to you.
Thank you.
Daktari, the question we have here, one, is actually based on your manifesto that you have shared. And the question goes like this. What are the challenges that you believe WAUMINI SACCO is facing given that if elected, you will address? And at what percentage on performance did the SACCO achieve based on the strategic plan of 2022? Does it translate to the returns declared? Thank you, Dr. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, moderator, and thank you for the question. I would I want to give a snapshot of the challenges that I am going to really spearhead. And one of those challenges is members depositing and not taking loans. And why are they not taking loans? Majority is because of lacking guarantors. You go to an institution and the guarantors, each person is guaranteeing like 5,000. If you wanted so many millions or thousand, how many guarantors will you need really to fill that basket? That's one major challenge because of what people went through during COVID. People lost jobs, and the guarantors who are left in employment, their deposits had to be taken off. Now, in terms of percentage performance, I think the records are very clear, Madam Moderator and dear delegates, that we moved the SACCO from the loss of 3 point something billion to over 5 billion within that period when I was the treasurer. And this is something that I'm saying we need to be consistent and really drive this as a team, not me as Jonathan, but it also depends on what we put on table for discussion. Sometimes board members may come, but you find instead of discussing issues that impact on performance, we now start now going on preview issues, which may not add much value. So those are my promises, where we're going to look at what we have impended in the current strategic plan, and we are going to see transformation. Now we are talking of first tier, number 20-something. How can we move to be among the top in all aspects, including return on investment? Something that I want also to share in terms of challenges. One of the challenges is also for members to appreciate why the SACCO movement started. It is really to benefit members through products which are affordable. We can even decide to give 30% return, but how much will you charge that same member in terms of interest to pay that? So we need to look at all those aspects. It's one thing to come and lie to you, fellow delegates and members, that we are going to push and give you more than 12% or something like that. I would say even those who are aspiring and promising, yeah, a time will come and we will see whether that is paid up. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. But again on your side, somebody sending here a very crucial question saying that please ask Dr. before he goes. He says, he asks like this.
Okay.
Your 9-pointer promises in the manifesto are wonderful to members. What were you waiting for? Not implementing these beautiful promises before that you intend to implement once elected this time?
Thank you. Good question. Thank you very much for the member asking that. We were tackling with, there are those things we call low-hanging fruits. There are those areas that we tackled so that we are where we are now. So we had now to tackle some other things. And there are others now, like when you talk of policies and bylaws, it's a question of these decisions that we have made, these resolutions we have made as members, how do we also move them to the next level? How do we move? It is a step-by-step kind of movement. It's not just like one sweep within within one goal. So there are certain things that were coming in, and I shared from the side of achievement. And now this is my agenda now for the next 3 years, after which now we can say other people take over and continue with a firm foundation that we will have formed. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Thank you.
Felix,
now another
Felix,
question
I'm
goes
sorry.
for...
Felix.
Yes, Eric.
I'm sorry. I've been asking. I've raised my hands for the past
yes.
few
Actually,
minutes.
there are 4 hands. Just a minute.
Yes,
Eric, there are 4 hands. I was doing
sorry
the first
for
round of
that.
questions, then I come to you members. Just one
It's
more
okay.
question to
I'll
Margaret, then
wait.
we'll give you time also, please. Kindly,
Thank you. I'm waiting.
delegates, please be patient enough. Let's give our aspirants humble time and equal opportunity, because I was like the first round of questions. Then we have those ones who have raised hands. I can see Zach, I can see Paul, I can see even Tom. Kipchillis, be ready after we have a question with Margaret and I think Patrick, then we'll have to listen to them. Margaret, from your manifesto, it articulates that there will be development of member-driven products. So does it mean that the products being offered by the SACCO are not member-driven? It's now that you intend to do this. You mentioned that you will try as much as you can to reduce expenses. This is actually brought out from the manifesto, and reduce debt efficiency. So how do you intend now to reduce these expenses? What was happening before? Not embracing this. Margaret? Unmute, Margaret. We can't hear you. You are muted. Unmute.
Okay,
Yes.
I've unmuted. Thank you, Chair, for that question. I appreciate a very crucial question. One, I want to say that the SACCO is a going concern. And as a going concern, there are trends that are changing every other moment. In fact, even next year, there will be trends changing. So when we talk about changes, it means that we also have to improve our operations. So when we are saying that we are going to look at product diversification and member-led products, we are saying that things are changing. For example, everybody now is talking about green energy, and the SACCO should not be left behind. So what can we do? I am thinking of introducing a product where people will apply for partnership with organizations that are delivering things like solar power, because that is the common trend. So when I say member-driven, we are saying that we are changing with the changing trends, and therefore the needs are also changing. Number two, we have had traditional way of looking at collateral. We are saying that we need to develop products that may not need collateral, but may use the credit score of members. And that is where we need to have a good research on members, a good behavior. We look at the behavior of members in terms of loan payment, and then create products that are easily accessible and that can can reduce the cost of operations. A case in press is the self-guaranteed loans that we championed. I don't want to say I, but I think I came up with the idea of self-guaranteed loans, where members can take loans equivalent to a percentage of what they have saved. This is risk-free loans. And I can tell you, members, that this product, members are patronizing it. So we are improving it. Next time we may come up with a product that will even benefit members more. For example, currently we have the government loan fund, the bottom up, and then we are saying that the next phase, they are going to work with the SACCOs. Is this an opportunity that is there that we can exploit? We have to look at what is the candor of the members that we can give certain products. That is segmentation of members and what are their needs. This continued improvement have to go there, have to be there if the SACCO has to grow. We also need to improve the efficiency of the operations. Before, we used to have physical loans, physical application forms, but now we are saying no. we are in a digital era. Let us go digital. Let us have loan applications online where members can apply online, where they can ask guarantors to guarantee online, and that reduces the costs a lot and increases the efficiency. So yes, as a going concern, we have always to improve on the products. When it comes to efficiency in the operations, we are saying this is also in terms of how do we ensure that we have fewer staff? How do we ensure that we spend less money, but we get high effective productivity, high productivity in the SACCO? Yes, this is possible. With the new threats, with the research that is coming in, we can re-engineer our processes so that we are more effective and efficient. And therefore, we shall have more returns to members. Thank you. Why is this coming in? Can you hear me? I think I keep on dropping. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Margaret.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Yes.
She has finished.
Okay, maybe as we wait for Ratemo, Paul Ngare, please ask your question. Unmute and ask your question, Paul Ngare.
Okay, thank you very much. Though I've written the question there, my concern was about the teamwork. This teamwork was compromised sometimes back when Dr. Jonathan, Margaret, and Tom were in the executive. It was that you go my way or you go away. How will they address this one if they have been given opportunity to serve the board? I'm through.
Okay, Paul Ngare, whom do you want this question? Who is to answer the question?
Any of them can answer, but I've addressed it to Jonathan, Margaret, and Tom.
Moderator, let me go first.
Okay.
Let me go first.
Jonathan.
Let me go first. Yes, I can go first. Well, I think that is a very generalized question, which is a little bit hard to tackle because, as I said, and as you saw, what I am promising, I'm not promising to tackle the issues that I would call personal issues. Personal issues here, it means an issue is tabled at a board meeting and the board now makes a decision, which is now within the decision-making process. However, having said that, we are still serving in the current board, which is also moving on, and we are seeing a lot of harmony, a lot of cohesion, a lot of tolerance, and a lot of so many other things. So people come in with different dynamics, and this is one thing I would persuade my worth competitors, those who will get elected. You just don't go and really look like, yesterday I promised members I must do this and this and I have to do it, and you keep on also communicating to the same electorate on issues of confidentiality, on issues that are within the board, and then we usually have a chain of communication where there are ways of passing information to members. But if I now start smuggling information to share with you, then the rest of the team will now look and start wondering, what is your motive in doing all this? So I am just answering it also in a very generalized way, but I'm saying it's the same team that was, and it is the same team that is. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tari. Yeah, so we can have Eric. Eric, I'm seeing you have raised your hand before we go to the chat box. Before we go to the chat box, Eric, please ask your question.
Thank you. My question goes to Jonathan and Margaret, and most probably it will affect us as well as Otieno. The previous office, we used to pay about 200,000 per year in terms of costs. We moved to Applewood, and we now, there's a fees we paid for the offices. But I'd like to know how much is our maintenance fees? And does it now have a positive impact for the SACCO and for the members or not? Because if you used to pay 200,000 for the office in Westlands, and now we moved to Applewood and we bought the Applewood at a certain fees, we used to pay certain fees to create the offices, and now we have a fees for the maintenance. Would like to know how much and what are we saving as a SACCO every year?
Can I go?
You can go in. Okay, go. Yeah, please.
Okay. Thank you for that question. When we were in Westlands as the headquarters, the space was so small. There was congestion. If one person in an office got cold, everybody in that office got cold. So it is, I would say it's a great achievement that we got Applewood as our own. We are not paying rent. If we were paying rent, I don't know if we would even be able to pay even 5% dividends, because most of it would be taken by rent. But we thank God that we have our own for the first time. And we want to thank the team that did a lot of work to get that, me included. I want to say that in such an office, which is quite spacious, which is abundant, which is aerated very well, which has the modern aesthetics, that goes with staff morale and staff motivation. And I would say that we have seen enormous staff improvement in their operations. In such a space where you are sharing with other people, you pay service charge. And service charge, being members of owners of part of the building, is charged to everybody who rents or owns a facility, because we have common facilities like lifts, we like common washrooms, like common verandas. All those are maintained through service charge. But I don't want to say that I have the figure of head, but definitely if we were to compare the rent that we were to pay in such a building and the aesthetics that is there and the staff motivation, we would pay a lot. So it is cheaper. It is a small amount that we are paying in terms of what we have, and it is a worthwhile payment, because we have clean facilities and we have also common facilities like lifts that are provided. That in itself brings out the maintenance fee, or what you are calling the maintenance fee, which is negligible compared to the buildings that we have. Thank you.
Can I add on?
Yes.
Can I add on?
Yeah, yes, you can add on 1 minute.
Yeah, Eric, go on.
Thank you, moderator.
Let me ask. I think I just asked, how much are we paying? I've not asked. I understand about this all that, but how much are we paying for that? Vis-a-vis, how much did we used to pay? It, as an organization, we need to look at cost-saving analysis. So just tell us in terms of terms, how much are we saving? We understand all that, the space and the serenity, all that, we understand. Tell us, we used to pay 200,000, now you pay 500,000, or we used to pay 200,000, now you're paying 50,000. Tell us the cost.
Thank you, Eric. Yeah, Eric wants an answer.
Okay.
How much? As simple as that, how much? A saving or an extra being payment? Yes, Morris, you are
Okay,
the one.
thank you, Eric, for that question. We may not have, I may not have the exact figure at hand, but I want to first concur with what my colleague has shared, but then add on to say that, yes, in the recent past, we've noted that the figure that we're being charged for service charge is a bit high as compared to what we had agreed on when we started negotiations for Applewood from the onset. So we have, as we talk now, we have asked the CEO to organize a meeting between us, the board, and the owners of the whole building, so that we go and review what was the agreement. Because when we made the agreement, the service charge was not as high. As I said, sorry, I don't have the exact figure. I don't want to cook. But this is something we can prove even by tomorrow. We have already asked the CEO to organize a meeting.
Morris.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Actually, the answer was, do you know the figure? Yes, no, you don't know. So just that one name around going to organize. Yeah, the meeting you will be organizing, you know that time you will tell us. So it's not known. Thank you. And yes.
Can I also add to that?
No, if you know the figure.
Yes, sir.
Whether there's an increase or a decrease.
I know the figure.
Please tell us.
Okay, the figure
answer
that
Eric,
we
answer
are.
Eric.
The figure, Eric, thank you for that question. The figure that we have paid for last year is 1.699720. I've checked. So it is 1 million points. Let me say to round it up, 0.7, if I have to round it up. But we cannot compare Applewood with the rent we are paying at WAUMINI house, because it's like comparing oranges with apples. Those are two different environments, two different setups, as I've said. So I wouldn't think it would be
Margaret,
very,
Margaret,
yes.
Thank you,
Margaret.
Yes.
Thank you for that. I've got the answer. The thing is, are we saving? Because if you are paying 1.4 million every year, and there's amount we use to buy the place, does we as a SACCO having gained for buying it or not? Because if we bought the place of over 50 million shillings, and every year we spend about 1.4 million, and you've heard from Otieno Morris telling us the fees is now increased from the previous discussion. That means the decision was not wise. It means the organization, the SACCO, is losing a certain amount of money every year. And that's what we are looking at. Please be precise. Are we making a profit, an increase of that, or is a loss in terms of the SACCO?
Thank you, Eric, for that.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric, for that.
Thank you, Eric.
And
Thank
that's
you, Eric.
well noted in that even members present can attest to that, because we wanted to know whether there is a saving or not. So at least now we have an answer, yeah, from that. Another question now, there was an hand from SAC. SAC?
Yes.
SAC, you can unmute and ask your question, please, and say whom it is directed to.
Yeah, the question is directed to Peacemaker Muindi.
Okay.
Tom, you talked of you were a peacemaker in the board, but the same time, the moderator here, Ratemo, was expelled. What peace did you make during that time to help Ratemo come back? Secondly, this goes to Jonathan, Margaret, and Tom. I have been a victim of victimization from the former regime. And you are there, Tom. Jonathan, you are there. Margaret, you are there. I don't know what to say, but it makes me feel sick when I see you guys. I was almost being expelled from being a delegate just because of the truth I was saying every time at meetings in region and also at the ADM. A letter was written to my unit, management of the diocese, and I was to be expelled, but the members wrote a letter and it was approved by the management saying he cannot be expelled without a reason. It was just because of Chuki Mingi. And you guys were there. What did you do to help people like me and Ratemo? It's so painful. And there are others.
Thank you, Sack, for that question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Maybe I can start. Maybe to seek clarification.
1 minute, Tom. Yes,
Okay.
1 minute.
Okay.
Tom, you have unmuted yourself.
Oh, I thought you said what?
No, you have 1 minute.
Yeah, I wanted. Thank you. One, sorry for what the tribulations that Zach you went through. I don't know which year was this. Maybe you can clarify on that. Which year was this, Zach, when you went through these tribulations?
This was in 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, I'm not privy to that. I'm not privy to that in regard to that matter. And number two, in regard to when I mentioned that I came on board as a peacemaker, Ratemo can confirm, because he's here, is the moderator, that not at any given point I served in the board with Ratemo. I joined the board, and immediately when the time I was joining the board, it is the same time that Ratemo was suspended from the board. Thank you.
A quick one to my brother Zachary. I think this is an issue that we talked one-on-one to Kiwa Kisumu during delegates meeting. And I wouldn't want us to spend so much time because being a personal issue, it is like telling every other person what exactly was happening. But in summary, there are policies within election of delegates. So we cannot really take a delegate until and unless there is a written communication from the electing body. If it is like the unit you are representing, they have to show we held our meeting, so and so was proposed by so and so, elected, and therefore the administration is writing a letter to say so and so is our delegate. So in this case, there was no communication at all. And then Zachary came with the previous delegateship, having not been reconfirmed or re-elected. And that is now why the communication had to come and say, oh, Zachary still continues serving. And from that time up to now, Zachary is still on board. So it's a question of what we call housekeeping. And it is not anything like a personal vendetta or anything like to punish you. So if you are quite hurt and you feel, yes, that you are repelled, my apologies for that on behalf of the team that took that decision of really trying to make things the way they ought to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. And now, before I read a question here, first I could also say that I think there in the former regime, there must have been people who are so vocal, who are criticizing what the board is doing. Many means and ways might have been acted or done by the board to cap them. And that's going forward. In good governance structures, we need to have addressing those issues, not to punish those people. So a question comes, And this from Jeff. It says, my question goes to Morris Osieno. He has talked of misappropriation of finances during his tenure as a vice chair. How did he deal with the vice at that time? And what measures were put in place to see that it doesn't repeat? Maurice, that's a question. It's on the chat box. Addressed to you. Maurice? Maurice, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear
You
me?
have had the question? You have had the question?
I would request that you repeat it.
Okay. 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 Here it goes.
Yeah.
It goes like this.
Yes.
It's from Jeff.
Yes.
My question goes to Maurice Osieno.
Yes.
He talked of misappropriation of finances during his tenure as a vice chair. How did he deal with the vice at that time? And what measures were put in place to see that it does not repeat? A question from Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for that concern. Yes. The steps we undertook to curb that is what is now giving us where we are with our 9%, because what we did or what we have done is to simply cut off on that kind of misuse of funds so that we have our funds very safe. And so with that, we cannot end up in a situation where we have a lot of money being used in a manner that is not very prudent within a very short spell of time. January to March, you have used this amount of money, and yet you have a whole long year to go. What does that mean? It means the budget is likely to burst. But now this year, we've taken caution of that, and we're not likely to end up into that scenario. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Morris. A question from Rafael. My question goes to Margaret. She has talked about the issue of fiscal loan approval. Can we automate the process and reduce the costs, like printing loan forms, transportation of the loan forms to headquarters, reduce credit expenses? Margaret, 20 seconds in that.
Yes, moderator. What we are doing as a SACCO is to try to automate. Every organization is now going digital. And one of the steps that we have taken is to upgrade the SACCO system, ICT system, or the ERP that we are currently using. And one of the things that the new ERP will be providing is enabling application of loans online, that a member will just go to his or her portal, they apply the loan is approved online, the guarantors get online, and that again will improve in terms of time and in terms of efficiency, in terms of cost. So yes, we have already gotten demonstrations on how we can have online loan processing and applications. Right now, we have 2 loans that are being processed directly, the Mazao loan, the WAU cash, and we are in the process right now of automation of self-guaranteed loans, because those are low risk loans. We are saying, yes, you are right, Paul, that if we automate processes, then we are able to reduce on the costs and increase on members' return. And that is the direction the WAUMINI SACCO is taking. And I, being in the credit committee, have been championing. In fact, the self-guaranteed loans, I think I championed that until now. We have a lot, almost 200, I think, in the last sitting million of people applying for self-guaranteed loans. So automation will be good for the SACCO.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you for that. Before I can see the hand of Joseph, there is a question here. It's from Paul Ngare. The question goes, this goes to everyone seeking the election about the time limit of a board member. If delegates could want to put a time limit, what could be your reaction? So that one, let's have it, let's know it. And because there's another question which is so pertinent, I could have to ask, that one we can answer later. Then I give in Joseph. You can unmute and speak, please. Your hand is up, Joseph.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. And my question goes to Maurice. And I can see in your manifesto in terms of cost reduction, it's not one of the, it's not coming out clear in your manifesto. In your presentation is what you talked about the call center. And you talked of, you have a budget of 3 million, which you are hoping to open up a call center. I would, being one point of my manifesto, being cost effective, have the avenue of outsourcing the call center being discussed by the board, yes or no? And if yes,
Maurice?
the opening, using the 3 million to open a call center was the most favored decision by most board members.
Thank you, Wanamburu. Thank you.
Maurice.
As I said, yes.
Maurice, as you answered the question, you
Yes.
also mentioned about CRM. Yeah. I could also
Yes.
ask add another one to what Joseph has asked. You answer at the same time. Is
Yes.
it now that you are noticing that CRM is not working well in WAUMINI? Just
Thank
answer
you.
those. Okay.
Thank you. I start off with Joseph's question. Thank you, Banamburu. Thank you. You are concerned about the budget for the call center. Budgets, my brother, are provisions. We can budget for an item with a figure. That does not mean that figure is exhaustive. When time comes for the implementation of that particular aspect, the procurement committee will seek for the bids, and the figure we are talking about, 3 million, is not meant to say that all of it will be spent. It is a budgetary allocation awaiting the real action, in which case bids are received. Those interested are able to supply this, and from that, we can always get the gadget we need. So the figure 3 million is not the cost of call center. It's a budget meant for that particular process, which does not mean it is exhaustive. It is a budget to guide that if we have to establish a call center, then we have to set this amount of money, but then that does not mean it is totally on that. To the second question, Brother Joseph, I hope I've answered you well. If not, I can still come back. But for CRM that Brother Felix is asking, that is now an advanced stage. We are moving. When that comes up, then it has not yet been implemented by Ratemo. It is what we are planning. But because these are initiatives that are costly, at the end of the day, whatever we do, we must remember the member, that it should not be something that will affect what we need to give back to our member. That's why I said that as for this year, we have budgeted for a call center. Then next year, 2024, God willing, we shall budget for a CRM software. That was my point. But otherwise, as we are talking now, Bwana Felix, we don't have a CRM. We are only looking forward to having it in the very near future, probably mid next year, and then we can sort out all our issues to do with responses from customers. Thank you.
Thank you, Maurice. There's one question here for Mr. Tom, and the question reads, during your time in office, after election, you went underground. There's a feeling that you did not serve members as you promised during your time in office. How different would this one be if elected? Tom?
Thank you. Well, I did not go underground, but still someone to make key decisions, there is what is called time for reflection. That period from beginning of April 2022 to this March 2023, I can say it has been a time of reflection. It has been a time of re-energizing myself. It has been a time of planning on understanding my weak points and on looking of ways of enhancing my strong points for the benefit of WAUMINI SACCO. So this was a time of reflection. I'm now re-energized, full of energy, and the points that I've mentioned in a specific way, it shows that this is someone who's been thinking and strategizing of coming up with ways of delivering that. Thank you, Bwana Moderator.
Thank you very much, Tom. Joseph, I can see your hand is up.
No, it was still the same time. Sorry for that. Let me.
Okay.
On the same question, yes.
Okay, thank you. There is another question here now. To all, sorry, there's another question which has come. This is Jeff. I would like to ask Joseph Mburu to explain to this audience how he will motivate members, apply for loans, at the same time monitor the same issues in a prudent manner, because it's not just a matter of enticing members to take up loans without proper assessment of their capability to repay. That's now Jeff asking Joseph. Joseph, you can answer that one in 15 seconds, please, because of time. Joseph?
Can you repeat the question? There's a point I missed you, I think, because of network. Repeat the question.
The question reads, I would like to ask Joseph Mburu, it's from Jeff, to explain to this audience how he will motivate members to apply for loans, and at the same time monitor that the same is used in a prudent manner, because it's not just a matter of enticing members to take up loans without proper assessment of their capability to repay.
Okay. To answer Jeff, what I'll do differently, it's first to understand why are we having a very low loan uptakes. SACCO being a member driven or member focused, I would like to know why do you have these low uptake. Once I discover, or we discover why we have low uptake, we'll deal with those situations, and for that I think automatically it will increase the uptake of the loans. And also we'll need to have to check also on the maybe the pricing, maybe assuming we do a survey and then if we find the pricing is the issue, we might even have to offer loans to different kinds of people. After you understand their needs, you understand their repayments, because you cannot have loans of people who are earning low having the same products as people who are earning high. That will mean the high earning people will always take their loans, but the low earning people will not take loans, meaning we have a low loan uptake.
You are done, Joseph?
Yes.
Thank you, Joseph. Any member with a question? Now.
My hand is up, Ratemo.
Please go on, Zach, go on. I'm just
Yeah,
going the chat.
most of the aspirants are talking about the digitization of the loan that is going online, but nobody is talking about the registration. I think they need to tell us because that is the easiest one, because we are using a lot of papers. A lot of papers for registration, a lot of papers for the loan. So when they talk about the loan digitization, I think we need also to talk about and that should be the first one. I don't know who will answer or give a feedback.
Any member who can answer that? Anyone?
Just a quick comment on the same. I would just say, when we talk of process reengineering, we are talking of looking at the processes from registration of members all the way to even loan application disbursement, and we are in digital era. So it's a question of looking and putting everything into one perspective. So Zach, yes, that is part of the process, which is within my promise to members, that we are going to see a digitalized process where automation will be the way to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari, for that. Personally, I'm of the opinion that there's one element, one elephant in the room that I was looking forward for serious deliberations regarding defaulters. I'm not yet convinced on the outcomes or the deliberations given. In that scenario, that means that because defaulters has been the greatest enemy of the investors, yeah, many people have lost their investments. Yeah, a lot has happened. This is what we started when I was in the board, also chasing those defaulters before when I was sent home. But still, we have a feeling that whatever we were doing, board members needs to go an extra mile to save the investors' savings, because we have those people who are doing sweeping petty jobs down there. They are saving. The only thing they have in this life that has become economically tough is that saving in WAUMINI SACCO, which needs to be monitored seriously on a serious note, day in, day out, which should be on safe hands. And at the same day, these members, they need to have better returns at the end of the day. So we have entrusted this investment to the board members that we have been erecting. We also need to have board members who come out with transparency and accountability, reporting, giving us what we deserve. We don't want to hear terms that there is mismanagement of resources, funds have been lost, there is something, there is ABCD going on. Yeah, members will be very happy and trust WAUMINI SACCO if and only if we can protect that
Felix,
investment.
pardon
Now,
on that. Felix, can I have one thing? Please, please.
Yes. There's
Please.
another, somebody said that. Yes, Eric? We are almost
My
winding
question
up.
is this.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Now that we are looking at digitization of the processes, you know, previously that the members, the board members used to go meet and have these queries put together. If we are digitizing the process, are we also saving the cost in terms of when members meet, there's a fees they are paid because of attending the meetings. Are we also going to reduce that in terms of saving the cost for the purpose of us digitizing our process is saving costs? Are we also reducing the fees for members meeting? Because if members can meet digitally, then we can reduce on our cost so that we don't need members meeting physically and we spend more money on them meeting. Are we able to also to save costs on that? And should we do that for saving the SACCO?
Thank you, Eric,
Raphael,
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Raphael,
Thank
you
you,
are very
Raphael.
right.
Raphael,
Yes,
if I got you
question
right.
was, yes.
Raphael,
Yeah, my
can
question
I
was,
Raphael,
oh yeah, you can
can I
you can
respond? Thank you, Raphael. We get your point about digitization. A few years ago, 1 or 2 years ago, we had COVID. And when COVID came in, it ushered us into a new world of holding meetings across the networks rather than physically.
Yeah, virtually.
If we go the digitization way, which we are all yearning for, surely that will reduce the cost. Because if I was to be given anything little for transport, now transport will not be there. So it goes without say, and my colleagues who are here can attest to this, that once we digitize and we are able to carry our meetings online, automatically the cost should come down. Thank you.
Thank you, Maurice. On the digital question, I can also bring in this joinder. Before I left the board, we were also deliberating and saying that we could like to have a reduction in terms of expenses, maybe in terms of printing papers and all those things. There was that motion that we were to introduce tablets, because that was a good gesture that we can do these things virtually, and doing virtually means that the physical meetings, we can reduce the costs and the expenses. Was that effective? Was that effective? Yeah, because at the end of the day, the board members needs to reduce all costs, minimize. Actually, we cannot do away with the cost, but we can minimize those costs and ensure that the returns can be evidenced. Now, we are winding up.
Question?
And yes, question.
Oh, my question was,
Yes, Ravel.
I have seen in the issue of loan guarantorship,
yes,
the SACCO seems to tie up members' funds for no apparent reason. Because take an example, you guarantee somebody, someone takes a loan of 300,000, and 3 people guarantee that person a tune of 100,000. Imagine even when that loan, the loan balance is like 10,000, your 100,000 still tied up. You know, I saw that one and reasonable. I think it's good we change on that standing order so that we can release more members' funds. Yeah, that's my issue.
Okay, thank you. Anybody who can respond with that? Anybody?
Moderator. Yeah, moderator.
Yes, Maurice.
I think that is a positive observation from Raphael, that if the balance is only 10,000, why should somebody who has his or her 300,000 be held back? That is a point noted, and I'm sure with my colleagues who are here, even for the few days we are still there, even if it's a day or two, that will be shared, and it's something that can be implemented. It doesn't need any resolution. It's just the board coming up and saying, we look at this at individual level. If the balance of the loan is as little as 10,000 and this member has 300,000, he cannot be held responsible, be denied the rights we would have gotten just because of the small balance of 10,000. And I want to believe this can be looked at the earliest opportunity time, and then we save members who might be caught up in that particular corner.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. It has been a wonderful session. And I take this opportunity to thank all the members who have attended. Now we are finishing this meeting in a unique way. And this is how we end up this meeting. I will give each 1 minute parting shots, or the aspirants, your one message in 1 minute. To who? To the delegates here, and what they will be telling other members outside there, because this is also one way of doing what? Campaigning. I will start with Madam Margaret. Are you on board, please?
Yes, I am on board,
I
moderator.
feel that I should give you the first priority to give your parting shots.
Thank you, moderator.
1 minute, please. 1 minute.
Thank you, moderator. I want to say this discussion has been healthy. Thank you to all of you who have put your efforts together. I want to say that for the excellence of WAUMINI SACCO, we must be people of integrity, and we must erect people of proven integrity, and who are willing to collaborate with others, who have a listening eye to the members, and who have the right experience. So vote for Margaret Mwaniki. Margaret Mwaniki will take this SACCO to far heights, and this is the last term that I am vying. So Margaret Mwaniki for WAUMINI SACCO Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you. That's wonderful. Daktari, Jonathan.
Thank you very much, moderator. Mine is again to thank each and everyone for staying awake up to this time. Truly, this is a future to believe in. My parting shot: don't overhaul if it is working. And what I'm saying is, instead of now saying we put all new people, we had an experience from my competitor Tom, who in a full term was learning the ropes. So you can imagine all the new, let's call them fresh blood, as it is being termed. They are coming to learn what happens here, and by the time they pick up, time is moving. Just like any other person, I would be more interested in getting a higher dividend than what we are giving. And the idea is, how do we move together as one team? So you have listened to different speakers, and it is upon you to make a decision come Saturday. If you want Jonathan to continue serving you, I'm available. If you feel I don't need to serve, I will still accept your wish. May God bless you. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Daktari. Thank you for attending this meeting. Next is Mr. Morris Oshieno. Morris.
Thank you, Felix. I want to start off, Bwana Moderator, by making one slight correction in respect of my colleagues who are here, Daktari and Margaret. Actually, whatever we do as a board, that is right, that we do it as a team. So, having said that, I want to thank the team that organized this. As I said in my opening remarks, if this is the process people can go through, then our SACCO will get good leaders in the future. So once again, I want to dispel of what could have sounded like fear among my young brothers and sisters who are intending to join us. Don't be scared, we are there. If you find us there, well and good, we shall welcome you, and you will learn the ropes just the way we have learned over years, and then you can move on. To the delegate who is listening to this, who is watching, I humbly request you for this opportunity. Let me also borrow the words used by my friends as a last opportunity. If I'm given that opportunity, then I will pronounce at the floor the exact date of my departure from the board. And all delegates will be aware that come this date, Morris will officially say thank you, and that is bye-bye, wishing the SACCO all the best. So on Saturday, remember Morris Otieno, so that I can help our new incoming young people like this team that is here who will join us for us.
Thank you, Morris. Time is up.
Asante, asante na kwaheri.
Tom, 1 minute, parting shot.
Thank you, Bwana Ratemo. I must say that period of 1 year was time to reflect, to re-strategize, to get more energy, to perform the things that I've outlined. I have the energy, and as Bwana Daktari Kiliko has mentioned, as I was learning the ropes, it happened what it happened. But I know delegates will give me the opportunity to execute the agenda that I've mentioned. I'm requesting on Saturday, fellow delegates, that you stand with Tom Mwindi, have trust in him, and he will deliver for the greater benefit of our SACCO. God bless you all.
Thank you, Tom. CPA Patrick, are you there? CPA Patrick?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, I want to take this opportunity to thank the organizers and to thank all the delegates for listening to us. At least listening to all the participants, I have gained a lot, and I will invite all the delegates to join hands whenever maybe they have a question or a question mark, they can always raise. Then from the supervisory side, we can try to do some investigations, and we can try to make things work. Thank you so much. And then on Saturday, I'm asking for your votes. Stand with CPA Patrick Karanja for supervisory role. Thank you so much.
Thank you, CPA Patrick. We wish you well.
Thank you.
The next member online is CPA Mburu.
Thank you very much. I'll take this 1 minute first to thank the moderators and my fellow aspirants for engaging in a healthy and professional manner. Second, I would like to direct this message to my fellow honorable delegates who are here with us this late. And I'll put a question. Why put Joseph in the board? And I'll give you the answer. I'm the fresh blood to grow the SACCO to the next level. I would also tell my fellow delegates, we are all professionals and we understand the clear distinction of roles of the board and the member of the secretariat. So vote Joseph, vote for change. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. You have said it well. Wish you well too. There is this brother CPA Kyoko. CPA Kyoko.
Yes, I would like also to join others in thanking the organizers, wonderful moderation, thanking our fellow delegates and even our current board members. It was a very fruitful and engaging discussion. I also want to thank all participants for the engagement that we have had. And I just want to say it's good to trust. It's good to trust. Everything has its own beginning. As new leaders, we are not coming as leadership scholars. We are coming with consolidation of leadership from different experiences. So let us be trusted. And secondly, it is wisdom to live when most wanted. Because living when you are most wanted, when you are very fruitful, does not mean going away, but it means having a fresh start. And therefore, I'm welcoming all the delegates to have trust in me, to vote for me come Saturday, and we shall